But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, almost direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Won't let it happen. That's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0,
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and hello to all of you who may also have troubled minds. This show is about all the things we're not allowed to talk about. You know what those things are? Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the government, academia, the 24-hour news cycle, propaganda, and the general feeling that we live in the upside down. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and DLive. We are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM. If you want to be part of the show tonight, the number to call is 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can join the Discord at troubledminds.org. Also, please join the Discord at fringe.fm/chat. A couple different Discord servers going on. It's exactly the same program. Very, very minimally invasive. You can meet all kinds of new people and share ideas, and the communities in both places are amazing. So please do those things. If you have not joined the Discord yet, please do. Lots of smart folks over there and lots of good information being shared. And more importantly, the vibe. The vibe is the most important thing to me there. And the communities in both spots have been just absolutely amazing. And like I said, I learn a ton of information from pretty much everybody. And very much like I say, it's always been a sort of a crowdsource situation with this show. And so as a result of that, I do appreciate people sharing links, people sharing ideas, people actually putting out show ideas of things to come in the future. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in there. So like I said, don't miss out. Get in there, please. Troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link on top, fringe.fm/chat. Get in there and say hi. Lots of smart folks. All right, so tonight. Now the thing, as you know, if you guys listen to the show, you guys know that I watch the news cycles very closely, and I try to pick out what's going on with the propaganda, right? With the whatever's happening with, in particular, we watch UFO news, we watch the space news, we watch all kinds of stuff. We watch the political news a little bit, just in the broad sense that you can kind of maybe discern what's happening by what they're saying and what they're not saying. So in any case, as you know, this past several weeks and in June in particular, this month has kind of been, as the Night Stalker out there put it, the summer of saucers, meaning that this disclosure effort, this disclosure narrative is reaching a fever breakneck pace. And we are now, 10 days? I believe it's 10 days from the actual release of the 6-month UFO report that was tucked into that COVID relief bill back in December. So it's coming. I mean, that stuff is on the way. And so as a result, I think we've seen some marketing efforts by Oreo. We've seen some marketing efforts by other things coming up. And I don't know, like me, I think to really understand this stuff, and this is just one guy's opinion, right? Like, please trust me. This, like I always say, I'm not a doom preacher. I'm not the arbiter of truth. I'm not the answers guy. I'll never be that because I don't have any inside sources. I never worked for the government, any of those things, right? It's okay. It's okay to be wrong and to speculate. And so that's really what I'm doing here. So if I'm wrong, and as part of that, like I said, being wrong is a symptom of also sometimes being right. And that's really the right to be wrong. It's a kind of a long-winded way of putting that, and I think we have the ability to do that. So in any case, so watching the information kind of come out in the past several weeks here with all the UFO news and all the rest of this, it kind of got me thinking. Right? It's like, wait, so now we have the government kind of coming out and saying, look, these things are probably real, right? And I have my criticisms. I've talked quite a bit in the past about the videos, how they aren't diverse enough. Like the Project Blue Book, as that actual government project went back in the 60s with J. Allen Hyneck and Quintanilla and all those guys. It ended up becoming a sort of a cover-up, right? I mean, if we're being real, that's what the original Project Blue Book actually sort of became. It was a cover-up, right? But it didn't stop J. Allen Hyneck, the chief actual scientist that was working for Project Blue Book, from believing in UFOs at the end of it, right? He actually opened his own UFO institute at the end of Project Blue Book, a private institute, right? And that's still up today. That website is still up today, so you can fact check me on that. That's the truth. But the thing here is that when I listen to this stuff and watch the propaganda kind of come in and out of the news cycles, especially with UFOs, I get particularly suspicious because, as we've stated in the past, of course, this is a conspiracy show, and we talk about often how the media is kind of intertwined with the CIA, back to Operation Mockingbird and Project Mockingbird, two different things, but very startling revelations came out of those back in the day, right? And so, like we say, is probably the truth of the situation is those programs don't stop. They just rename them, all right? They call them something else. It's, part of the information operations game these days, or whatever they're calling it. They've changed the name. So just because it doesn't exist anymore doesn't mean they stopped. They just changed it so that the FOIAs couldn't get to them as easily. It's that whole game, the government dance of the black budgets and the, trying to avoid the FOIAs as much as possible. And when somebody's onto them, they close down a program and open up a new one, things like this. But anyway, I digress. So point being is that a lot of this stuff going on right now that makes me suspicious of government is the media. So, right? I mean, not just, there's a lot of things you could say in particular to be suspicious of the government in general, but the media and the way they tip their hand here, it kind of makes me shrug and scratch my chin and do the proverbial, what's going on here? So as I'm reading these news cycles and kind of staying really close to this to just try and figure out what the heck is going on here, I was on the Washington Post, and I know, I'm sorry, but I was on the Washington Post, and this article caught my attention, and this is just from yesterday, I believe. Let's see, June 10th, a couple days back, actually. So here's the thing now. This is the headline, and it is thought-provoking, and so that's really why it caught my attention. But the headline is this: contacting aliens could end all life on Earth. Let's stop trying. All right. And it says, whatever the UFO report says, it's time to set some rules for talking to extraterrestrials. All right. So you see what I'm saying? Like, just the headline alone kind of makes the brain spin in so many different directions there, okay? And of course, this is just an opinion piece, but the Washington Post does a terrible job of actually, telling you which is which. So for all we know, this is real news, right? One of this isn't the paper of record, let's say, but it's one of them anyway. But okay, so as we know, like it starts as you would expect this article to begin, and it's talking about this 6-month UFO report. It's talking about how the Defense Department has released these videos of the gun camera footage of the FLIR incidents, and all the stuff we talk about all the time. If you're new and you're not really following, there's a ton of that information. You can go back, check out our archives, tons of stuff where we've just kind of dissected this 6 ways from Sunday. Okay, but we'll fill you in as we go. But okay, in any case, check this out. So it continues, and again, the headline: contacting aliens could end all life on Earth. And so let's stop trying. Okay, well, I was like, all right, so here we go. So this is where the article gets into the meat and potatoes here. It starts like this. Some scientific circles have already been debating questions about whether to try to contact other civilizations. It's a topic of profound importance for the entire planet. For 60 years, scientists have been searching with radio telescopes, listening in for possible signals coming from other civilizations on planets orbiting distant stars. These efforts have largely been organized by the SETI Institute, right? SETI, of course, stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Seth Shostak famously or infamously heads up that outfit, and he's been on record as basically a notable skeptic. Okay, so he's out there searching for aliens. He doesn't discount that they're there. They're probably there, he says, but we have no evidence of that yet, okay? And he's heading up SETI, which is the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. The article continues, and so far, they've had no success. Getting impatient, other scientists are now pushing for a more active program called METI, M-E-T-I, which is Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Right, of course. So it comes from, it starts with, we're going to search for these things, right? SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, but then it kind of morphs into METI. We are going to actually actively try and message these entities out there, wherever they may be, okay? So, of course, the premise of the article here is that, very much like many people have said in the past, is that maybe we shouldn't, right? I mean, maybe this is one of those situations where we probably shouldn't be trying to draw attention to ourselves. Now, I mean, not that we're like a covert species here, with all the microwaves and the radio waves and all the satellites and all the all the noise we're making in space. It's not like we're at the ninja civilization or anything, but I think actively sending signals out to particular areas of interest might be a mistake. I don't know. So what do you guys think about that? As we talk about this tonight, like I said, we're broadcasting live on the Fringe FM, streaming live on DLive, Facebook, and YouTube, and we are taking your phone calls. So if you want to be a part of the show tonight, give us a call. Love to hear your take on this. Do you think, first off, the first question tonight is this: do you think we should spend time and energy trying to contact extraterrestrials? That's the first question. And then the second question, which actually begins to draw open this conversation a little bit more, is, do you think there's a danger? And if we send out signals to the cosmos, that maybe we draw attention to ourselves in a bad way? Meaning that, let's say there's an extraterrestrial race out there just doing their thing, farming their solar system or whatever it is they do, right? Whatever aliens do, who knows? But then they're tickled by a signal that comes from Earth that we sent there intentionally. Of course, the speed of light and the distance of space, and there's all these challenges, right? So there's like these really huge challenges for doing this the old-fashioned way. But even so, putting the feelers out and asking for attention from extraterrestrials, which may or may not give a damn about us, is that dangerous? That becomes the second question tonight. So that's really what we're talking about. And then, of course, like I said, you start to think about these things. And then, so what if? What if? Again, like I said, this is conspiracy speculation theater sometimes, so let's do that. So what if? What if we do contact an alien civilization, all right? And let's say that much like us stomping over an anthill, which has been an analogy used many times before in the past. They could give a damn about our existence. We are nothing but ants to them because of our technological advance is such a joke that we're animals, right? So who knows? Maybe it's I don't know. Once again, I don't presume to know so there's a couple things here. So I don't presume to know the intentions of theoretical alien civilizations. Okay, I just want to make that clear. But I am speculating is that all right. Well, do you think it's dangerous to kind of reach out and try and message these entities? That's really what we're going with this. And so that's the question tonight. That's what we're looking at. And then, right, you take it to the next level. So that's where my brain goes. It kind of cascades down the hill badly sometimes. And you end up, all right, so then should we message these, right? This headline from from the Washington Post: contacting aliens could end all life on Earth. Let's stop trying. And so now with this headline, and again, an opinion piece from the Washington Post, it is what it is. But if we do contact some sort of extraterrestrial intelligence, do you think it could end all life on Earth? And then, of course, how would that happen? And so what comes to my mind? Well, the War of the Worlds. The War of the Worlds, right? So everybody remembers that old infamous radio broadcast, and the aliens are invading, and they say people committed suicide, which again is also a fabrication of sorts, as far as I understand it. That it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be after the fact. But in any case, it kind of leads me kind of down that thought process, and as again, conspiracy speculation theater a little bit, and then as a result, what do you think it would play out as an actual alien invasion? So that's what's on deck tonight. That's what we're talking about. Those are all the things kind of on my mind as I think about all this stuff, as I think about the news cycles, as I think about pieces like this in the Washington Post, as I think about all kinds of different things, right? Should we be concerned? Should we be reaching out to aliens? And if we do contact them, do you think that we're possibly in danger? And I don't mean Project Bluebeam style of like the government using the premise of a fake alien invasion to steal all our rights. I don't mean that. I mean Independence Day style, right? Actual alien invasion. That's what I'm talking about. So, like I said, we get the opportunity to go out on a limb sometimes, and so we're doing it. We're going to go out on a limb here and speculate on what that might be. And I also looked into a few things, which is pretty interesting. Is if you start digging, there are actual government programs that have been put in place to actually stave off an alien invasion. If you can believe that. If you can believe that. So we'll get to that tonight. That's what's on deck. Lots of good things to talk about as we kind of think about this and consider these possibilities. Like I said, I'm not trying to tell anybody aliens are about to invade. All right? Like I said, we're doing conspiracy, speculation, theater. All right? So sometimes it's a little better than the news cycle, so we're just going to roll it like that. But you get what I'm saying. So should we contact aliens? If we do, is it dangerous? And if it's dangerous, what does that look like? What does that danger look like to us? Actual alien invasions? I think, yeah, maybe. We'll see, I guess. And of course, there's some folks who, if you go out there on the edge of the cliff, right, like the very, very end of the branches, right, where the limbs are very, very thin and weak, you'll find guys like, well, I'm not going to mention names, but you'll find people that suggest that all this stuff is already happened, or all this stuff is right. And I mean, you know who I mean. I don't mean like speculation. I mean, they're like, have websites up and they're making careers out of doing things like this. So in any case, that's what we're talking about tonight. And if you want to be part of the show, we got a phone call coming in. We'll take that in just a sec. But that's what's on my mind tonight. If an actual alien invasion happens, how will it go down? Do you think the government and the world is actually able to defend ourselves? And yeah, that's what we're talking about. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to this phone call in just a sec. And as we continue, if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can also join the Discord. Lots of good stuff there. Like I said, lots of smart people in there, and those conversations go on 24 hours a day, guys. So do go join the Discords, troubleminds.org. Click the link on the top, fringe.fm/chat. All right, let's go to the Copper Mustache. Copper Mustache. What's up, my friend? You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. How are you tonight?
Hey, Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Oh,
So
alien invasion.
Here's the deal. Voyager, in 1977, recorded a golden record with all our data on it and sent it into space. So we've already tried to contact everybody in the world, galaxy, universe, whatever we'll call it. And so we've already accomplished step number one, if that's what tonight's topic is about.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I do remember that was Carl Sagan and his colleagues that actually put that together, right? On the Voyager probe, they put depictions of humans and I think they put some Louis Armstrong music on there, something like that, right?
They put about just about everything on there, male versus female, pictures of people. They did everything but was on a golden record that was on there, and Voyager is still, I think, in motion throughout the galaxies. So we've already tried that. Maybe, conspiracy theory, here's a long one, maybe that's why we are seeing all these people. Maybe that's why we're seeing all this stuff in San Diego and across the world with these alien sightings all of a sudden. Maybe somebody found it.
Maybe, right? Maybe it's out there. I think I didn't look into that in particular, but I do believe they have an approximate based on its speed and trajectory where they think it is now. But I think part of the problem with that is sending out a probe like that it takes forever, right? You got to send a signal, like a speed of light signal, because that probe is going to take forever just to get outside of our solar system, right? And then past that, who knows how long it's going to travel. But anyway, I get your point there. We've tried. I mean, that's just maybe the first try. But so the question for you then is, should we continue trying? Do you think there's a danger there if we continue? Or like you said, is it possible, conspiracy land, I'm with you, that somebody... Go ahead.
I think we've already done it. So why keep continuing? Let's everybody else, let's us do it. You know what I'm saying? Let the Earth go out and find other creatures or other alien forms or whatever the case may be. But we've already tried it. I mean, we've attempted it. Other governments haven't, but the United States have. Maybe other governments have tried it. We don't even know. But it's been tried, and it was 1977, so it's been a long time. That thing's been out there for a while. So even at its mundane speeds, it's still traveled quite a long ways. And all it takes is one little catch of somebody floating past it to say, hey, what's going on with this thing? And like I said, in the last, year or two, all of a sudden we've seen all these amazing alien or UFOs, I'll just call it, really cruising throughout the United States.
Okay.
And the world.
All right. So you think we have. So how about this? Do you think we're in any danger then? If the aliens are now aware of our presence, do you think we're in any danger as a fact of that happening?
I don't know, but it's kind of like playing a Russian roulette in a way, because we don't know what is out there, and we don't know if it's positive or negative. So to do it is really a risk, really playing like roulette.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's something we should pay attention to as if we're asking for trouble, possibly, right? Trying to pick a fight with a bully that we can't stand up to, or maybe not. Who knows? I'm just using human terms to describe interstellar relations, possibly. Copper Mustache, we got to go. You know what that music means. I appreciate the phone call tonight. Thanks for kicking off the conversation.
As always, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon. There you go. You guys want to be part of the show? It's as simple as that. Appreciate the phone call. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. We're talking about a possible alien invasion. Don't go anywhere. More after the break. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and D-Live. Tonight, we are taking your phone calls. If you want to be part of the show, the number to call is 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can also join the Discord at troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. You'll be on the show that way as well. Tonight, we are talking about an actual alien invasion. What I like to call conspiracy, speculation, theater. And so it goes a little something like this. What do you guys believe is the reality of this situation? Do you think that there's something to this whole... So the thing that actually makes my mind move here, and try and keep up with the rest of the stuff that's going on, is that the media is just going full-on nuts with UFO nuts, with the summer of saucers, with the UFO craze of the 6-month UFO report, and it's just kind of flooding news cycles. And, not so much as it was a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever that was, when these UFO stories hit the actual 60 minutes, right? And so it wasn't quite like that. That was like a flood of UFO news for like 10 days straight. It was crazy, but it ended up a little bit weird, right? A little bit strange, a little bit. Now we're sort of in limbo, kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. We had a possible leak of this 60-day or a 6-month UFO report. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this stuff, but I do know that kind of considering these things is it does make me. It's interesting to think about. All right, and so that's what we're talking about tonight. And so we started with this article from the Washington Post that begins like this. Contacting aliens could end all life on Earth, so let's stop trying. All right? And so, of course, it's an opinion piece, which, they barely put on here because they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know where the news stops and the opinion begins. But it's just an opinion piece, so it's just, one person's opinion. And this article was actually written by Mark Buchanan, all right? And this was on June 10th. And so, I mean, this is what we're looking at. This is the speculation of the coming, whatever's happening going forward here, is that should we stop trying to contact aliens? Because, maybe as the Copper Mustache suggested, maybe we've already contacted them. That Voyager probe that was sent with the golden record and all the things that were supposed to give information to the aliens about us, right? Maybe that contact actually happened already. And so maybe that's what's kind of brought about this disclosure movement. And maybe, Lou Elizondo and guys like that, maybe they know these. They know this. Maybe, who knows? Like I said, conspiracy speculation theater is what we're doing tonight. Kind of going out on a limb a little bit and just talking about what a possible alien invasion might look like. So as we go, we'll continue looking at some of these articles. I got all kinds of stuff pulled out. You would be surprised. You would be surprised if you have never gone down this rabbit hole, how many sources out there suggest that not only is an alien invasion imminent, but that the governments at large have a plan in place to handle these things. So we'll get to that stuff as we go tonight. But again, if you want to be part of the show, it's 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And this is Troubled Minds. And let's go to Beechwood. Beechwood in Massachusetts. What's up, my friend? You're on Troubled Minds with Mike. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful tonight, Mike. It's a good show, good topic. I got a couple things to say about it. But first, I meant to mention it to you on the other show. I was listening to the radio the other day, just the regular radio, and they were talking about UFOs, and they played this little clip, and it sounded like the intro to your show, man. It was weird. So it is trendy. They said that I can either confirm or deny things. And I was like, wow, that sounds just like Troubled Minds. But yeah, people are getting into it.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's why it makes it an interesting conversation, right? Because in the old days, we were the conspiracy nuts. Now everybody else is trying to get into the game because they're like, "Wow, people are interested." Yeah, who knew?
Yeah,
who knew?
Yeah, it's a cool thing. And as far as contacting, extraterrestrials and exploring the galaxy, I think at some point you're gonna have to if you want to really know what's out there. And as far as like an extraterrestrial race coming here, I can see them wiping out humanity, but if they're a biological creature, for a biological creature to wipe out all life wouldn't make sense to me, because biological creatures, need life to live. We consume living things, even plant matter. They're living. If we were to leave the planet and explore, we would need to find biological life to live, or bring our own, like they talk about, terraforming Mars. But we would be searching for, life, resources. I mean, resources are important, things like oil, metals, whatever you want to say. But biological life is what, keeps everything alive. And we live very comfortably, at least me as an American, having to worry about how to get something to eat isn't always, something people worry about. There's even the opportunity to steal food, which is wrong, but the food is still there. And that all comes from, biological stuff. At some point, the human race is going to have to leave the planet or go extinct. That's a choice. Probably not in our lifetimes. But I know, like, whether aliens are dangerous, I think it would depend on their situation, just like ours. If we went and found intelligent life on another planet, yet we were still living comfortably here, it would be peaceful. There would be ethics involved. If things weren't well here and we're on the edge of, losing everything, things won't be peaceful and ethical. Human beings don't like to lose. They don't like to die. If there's an opportunity to take something, it's going to get taken. And that's the primalness that most of us don't get to experience. But the key to survival is adaptation. No matter what it is, you need to adapt to the situation. And like a person, no matter what they want, what their greatest desire is, what they have, if you take them and hold their head underwater, a couple seconds will go by, they'll be okay, but then, 30 seconds, a minute goes by, all they're going to want to do is take a breath of air. They'll forget about everything else except getting the breath of air, because that's what they need to live. And society hasn't quite experienced that yet. If there's an extraterrestrial race that functions the way we do and they're experiencing that, yeah, they'll probably wipe us out and, take what they need to live. If, the Earth is a desirable planet. But I want to explore space. I was thinking the other day, at one time, you could walk down to the ocean and people actually didn't know it was on the other side of the ocean. Like, I look across the ocean, I know that Europe's on the other side. I know it's there. It's not like, I know it's there. And at one point, people didn't know. People actually didn't know. That mystery was still there. And people love mystery. It's weird. We love things that are rare. We love to explore. But I think we may be coming to a turning point where either way, it's going to be a chance, like the Russian roulette thing. Whether to take it or not, I say take it. Whatever, go for it. But, that's just me. But as far as worrying about it, it's really, I'd say 50-50. It all depends. There's other variables and elements that play into that. But, yeah, that's just my take on that.
Yeah, you got some fantastic points in there. And I just don't know that, like I said, trust me, I'm not, this is not fear mongering. This is exactly like I said, conspiracy, speculation, theater. So it's just kind of like some thought experiment, kind of down the rabbit hole type stuff to think about as possibilities, right? And so that's all I'm saying. It's not trust me, I don't believe in alien invasion is imminent. Nothing like that. I just want to be clear, because sometimes people misinterpret the things I'm saying. He try to read between the lines when I'm not that type of guy. I'm a say what I mean type of guy. But okay, so some fantastic points there. Specifically, that if they've been here for a long time and they wanted to take us out, or had the technology to get here for much longer than us, of course you'd figure that if it was a threat, the threat would have already come and gone, right? They probably would have already taken us over. Another one too is that the whole threat narrative thing it may be a human construct of sorts, right? Because if you end up as an alien race, you would expect to at some point be maybe enlightened, right? More than humans. And so, like you said, maybe to them, life is a sacred thing and not something to be stomped on and burned and, dumped on the bottom of an ashtray type of thing. So you got some really good points there, man.
That is very true. And humans kind of have a notorious reputation for being that way. I hate to say it, but they do. It's just the way it is. It's society. But, oh man, I had one more point. It just slipped my mind. But I don't know. Maybe I'll remember and give you a call back.
All right. But you know the number, my friend. You know where to find me.
And I'll keep listening, my man.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, Beechwood from Massachusetts. Thank you for the call, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
Take it easy.
Thanks, man. You too. There you go. Simple as that. So tonight we're talking about, again, I like to call this conspiracy speculation theater, right? And we're kind of postulating on the idea that an alien presence may come and be hostile to Earth, okay? And what would that look like, all right? And we'll get into some of that as we go. Basically, War of the Worlds, right? I mean, I feel a little bit at home here because we're on the radio, and we're talking about War of the Worlds, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about. So it's, it's kind of like where the infamy of that conversation really started on radio. So I think we're at home here discussing this stuff. But anyway, that's the case. That's what we're talking about tonight. And we started with this article here. If you're just joining us, I know radio folks come and go. So let's just recap real fast. The Washington Post published an article here. It's actually an opinion article, okay, not actual news. But the headline is "Contacting Aliens Could End All Life on Earth. Let's stop trying." So back to that. Do you think that so the questions tonight are several actually, and kind of starting at this point and going down that rabbit hole of, all right, so if aliens are possibly hostile, should we stop trying to contact them, right? It's one of those things where we don't know what's actually happening. The population at large. Some of us, may think we have a better idea than others, but I don't think anybody really knows until you can, blow the alien whistle and have ARF from Alpha Centauri show up. You know what I'm saying? And once that happens, okay, fine, you win. You were right all along, right? But I don't know until we can get to that point. I just don't think that the answers to me are, let's say, insufficient. Okay, not moot, just insufficient. All right, I think there's more data we need to kind of collect here. But okay, so as a result, though, going back to this piece, contacting aliens could end all life on Earth, meaning that if we contact an alien civilization and they notice something about Earth that they don't like, about humans maybe that they don't like, who knows? Maybe they go to Reddit first, they tune into our internet and go to Reddit or Facebook first, and they see what vile, hateful, the poofling and monkeys we actually are. Maybe they'll decide that maybe it's best for us if they take care of that for us, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, like I said, please don't take it in the fear-mongering sense. We're not talking about that. We're just kind of discussing how this might play out if we contacted these aliens and if they were actually hostile when they came and actually found Earth. So let's go to this. Now, this is from a website called wearethemighty.com. And I linked it a little while ago, but I'm going to link it back in the chats here. And this is some interesting stuff. Like I said, you'd be surprised at some of the things that you could find on the internet. I mean, maybe not, but when you start looking for stuff like this, actual alien invasion type stuff, there's a whole lot of data out there, a whole lot of opinions, a lot of takes. And again, we'll get to some of that as we go, but also some government agencies that are in charge of kind of keeping us ahead of the alien curve, meaning the hostile alien invasion. Anyway, so this is from wearethemighty.com, and This is it right here. It says, this is written by David Grove on April 16th of 2021. It says, this is Earth's best defense against an alien invasion. And so, of course, there's good stuff in here, and he's got an entire phases of how to fight against an alien incursion of sorts, right? A hostile alien incursion, which I thought was amazing. I'm like, okay, well, this guy actually went through and did some interesting takes on, what it might look like to fight a battle in space and, and some of these other things. So we'll go through some of this as we go tonight, but just curious, interesting, fun. And like I said, conspiracy speculation theater a little bit. What does it look like if we get invaded by actual aliens? Not the fake alien invasion, right? That goes around in conspiracy circles, not Project Bluebeam. I mean, what if it actually happens? All right. What if it actually happens? And if you recall, there was that Reddit thread a while back, as I just got done crapping on Reddit. There was a Reddit thread that was discussing a government insider that is now out of the government that says she was contacted by extraterrestrials, and there's a council of 7 extraterrestrial races. All right. So let's just go with that. And she says that 3 of them are on our side, 3 factions, but 4 factions are hostile. And they went to get the motherships and bring them here because something has to be done about the scourge of humanity. So there you go. So we can go with that one, I guess. But interestingly, back to this article, wearethemighty.com. This is Earth's best defense. I can't say it. Earth's best, it's a tongue twister, defense against an alien invasion. And it starts like this. Phase 1, he says, using space debris, all right? Meaning essentially a piece of space debris as small as a screw could destroy non-shielded spacecraft just coming out of light speed to enter Earth's orbit. We could send missiles to destroy our own satellites to create a shield of debris around the planet, which will either destroy a large amount of alien spacecraft or, at the very least, hinder their ability to enter orbit, which would buy us enough time to prepare for the second phase. Now, how fun is this? How fun is this? Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about, right? Like, I was like, all right, is there anybody out there that's actually gone through, maybe this speculation theater, this conspiracy speculation theater that I'm describing here, and tried to play out what an actual hostile alien incursion might look like? And this guy did. His name is David Grove, and he published this year, April 16th, 2021. Fantastic stuff. So let's go. There's phase 1, right? So if we destroy our own satellites and cover the atmosphere with debris, it might be dangerous to incoming alien vessels, right? That's what he says phase 1 is, which I thought is fascinating as hell. So let's continue. He says that'll buy us time for phase 2. Now, phase 2, he says, attack during entry. When a shuttle re-enters the Earth's atmosphere, it experiences heat of up to 21,140 degrees Fahrenheit due to friction with the air. The extreme heat and thermal energy disrupts many communications devices and onboard sensors. If an alien spacecraft experiences those same effects, the moment of entry into our atmosphere would be a great time to use a terminal high-altitude area defense system, THAAD, he calls it, intercepting incoming spacecraft that without sensors would be difficult to see coming. Then, of course, we prepare for phase 3. Like I said, how fun is this? How fun is this? This guy's kind of played it out and laid it out in this sweet article here. Phase 3. He says there's a couple options for phase 3, and option 1 would be nukes, of course. If the invading aliens are anything like us, they're probably coming to Earth to colonize it. In that case, we could prepare all of our nuclear weapons and hold our own planet hostage. If these aliens are in fact hostile and wish to cleanse the planet of our filthiness, then we threaten to detonate the nukes, which would render the planet uninhabitable and many of our resources unusable. Take that, alien scum. I like this guy. I may have to hire him as the General of Space Force when they enlist me, which they never will. But all right, so option 2 of phase 3. So instead of holding the Earth hostage with nuclear weapons against a hypothetical alien invasion, and of course, remember, guys, we're just talking about this in the fun way, not the gloom and doom way. I have no reason to believe this is imminent. I just thought it would be a fun discussion tonight. So that's what we're doing. So, okay, let's continue. Phase 3, option 2, he says, would be guerrilla warfare. If our invaders are coming from a distant planet, light years away, their continued siege might prove very costly. After all, interstellar logistics are probably pretty complex, so humans could resort to making life on Earth as nightmarish as possible by operating as small guerrilla outfits. It'd be something like the Vietnam War. Over time, the cost of war may eclipse any potential rewards, and the aliens will withdraw. Hopefully. So, like I said, a little bit fun, kind of down that rabbit hole just a smidge. And considering some of these things, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's a fun conversation. Please don't get me wrong. We're just having a good time tonight and talking about kind of this in a more of a War of the Worlds type tongue-in-cheek way, and less of a alien invasion is imminent. So just like to be clear. I want to be clear on that because, like I said, some people misunderstand me a great deal sometimes. So, but anyway, that's what we're doing tonight. So if you want to be part of the show, we had a couple great calls already. Looking for a couple great more calls, and that would be you, of course. If you can hear me, I'm talking to you. Give us a call at 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. We got a break in a couple minutes here coming up at the top of the hour, but then we got plenty of time for you tonight. So what are your thoughts on this as we kind of do that conspiracy speculation theater and consider what an alien invasion might look like if we contacted aliens and they were hostile and they came here at Independence Day style? Do you think that we'd have, Will Smith there to save us is kind of what I'm asking. Or do you think not? Or do you think not at all? And I think that's that's what's going on. What's up, Daryl? Yeah, this is live. Daryl. How are you? Yep, we're doing this live. We don't do this any other way but live. Okay, so that's what we're talking about tonight. We are talking about the possible alien invasion, and it kind of spurred the idea in my mind from this Washington Post article. Contacting aliens could end all life on Earth. Let's stop trying. So there we go. That's what we're talking about tonight. That's the conversation. And like I said, I think it can be a little bit fun. It doesn't have to be so doom and gloom. And thanks to this nice individual on the website, wearethemighty.com, we got maybe an interesting look at what phase 1, 2, and 3 might look like if we're actually fighting back against an alien incursion. So, like I said, pretty good stuff, and that's what's on my mind tonight, because why not, right? I mean, would you rather talk politics? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather punch myself in the face than talk politics. So, some nights we talk about aliens, and so that's what we're here doing. So, once again, if you want to be part of the show, this is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. We're taking your phone calls live tonight. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and DLive, broadcasting live on the Fringe FM, and the subject is the alien invasion. What happens if this is actually going to happen? And like I said, conspiracy speculation theater, nobody get too worked up. I'm not saying it's imminent. I'm saying, what if it is, though? Right? We're playing that game a little bit. So it's okay. Please, we're not fear-mongering. None of that stuff. Just having a conversation tonight. If you want to be part of the show, give us a call at 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And we'll continue talking about this stuff. As you can see, we like to have a little bit of fun here on this show. Lots of things that other people do not discuss, we do. Because why the hell not? Why the hell not? Once again, Troubled Minds, I'm Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. More alien invasion and talk about what we could do about it or what we can't do about it after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. Asking questions of you in earnest. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and this is the show where we talk about all the things you're not allowed to talk about. You know what those things are? Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the government, academia, the 24-hour news cycle, propaganda, and the general feeling that we live in the upside down. Tonight, we are discussing what a fake alien invasion, not a fake one, what a real alien invasion might look like, and I like to call this conspiracy speculation theater. We are streaming live on DLive, Facebook, and YouTube. We are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM, and we are taking your phone calls. If you want to be part of the conversation tonight, give us a call at 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can also join the show using Discord, which Discord is a chat client. It's a voice client. It's a fantastic thing. It's like Skype used to be, but way better. And you can find the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link right on top of the website there, and we have a Fringe Discord rolling as well. It's the same program. Lots of two communities basically commingling, having a good time talking. And if you want to be part of that, please join all of the Discords. It's like I said, it's one program, fringe.fm/chat, and get in there and say hi. Come say hi to all the fine folks that are listening on Fringe and also on all the other places we're streaming here. So okay, we have phone calls on deck. I appreciate all the enthusiasm, like I said. So let's just go straight to the phone calls. And again, tonight we are discussing, let's just reframe this just real quickly so that if you're just joining us, you understand where we're starting tonight. We're starting here. We're starting with the Washington Post. And they said, contacting aliens could end all life on Earth, so let's stop trying. And so it kind of, it got me started with the whole thinking process of what it might look like with a real alien invasion. And so that's the conversation tonight. So we've got phone calls, so let's go to the phone calls. Let's go to, I'm not sure who this is, but you're on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Derek from Mass, the Night Stalker.
Derek, what's up, my man? How are you?
Pretty good. I'm calling from the store, so if you get a little background music, that's the store music. I can't really control it.
All right, no sweat.
Every 10 feet here.
No sweat. You sound great. Go ahead.
I got to be quick, but I got a couple of thoughts on what would happen if aliens ever invaded. Do you ever see, first, I just want to say that it's probably a terrible idea. Like, it's probably not going to work out well for us. If it's like an Independence Day style type thing, if we're dealing with biological entities like we are, they're either like, they have all their stuff together, or they're probably like us. They're probably more parasitic, like the Borg or whatever. But with that being said, I want to. Like, I've been dying to like get like a shortwave radio or some kind of CB radio and just kind of like flip through the channels and stuff. There's some movie on Hulu where like these three guys like go into the woods like all summer basically, and they've all kind of like tech in their car and stuff, and they end up being the ones to like make first contact with whatever's coming, with whatever signal's coming, and like the whole vibe of it just seems like so relaxing and just seems like camping with like a sci-fi twist to it, and I feel like that'd be cool, you know?
Yeah. Go ahead. I know you're short on time. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just gonna try. But as far as like an actual like invasion style, like or what would happen if like real Independence Day style craft came down? There's that classic quote from Stephen Hawking where he talks about it would be like when Columbus or the conquistadors or whatever came over to North and South America, and how it didn't work out that well for the indigenous, whether it be viruses accidentally or just the intentional seizing of everything that they have. Like they're coming here for a reason. If they're coming here, like if they're incentivized to like make the trip after we contact them, it's either to hang out with us or to like take what we have, pretty much. But you ever watch the show Falling Skies? It was back in like back in like probably 2009-ish range. It was on for like 4 or 5 seasons.
Never seen it, no.
Starring that guy, like one of the guys from ER, like one of the big guys from ER. But essentially, it like takes place like a year after aliens invaded, and they're having to like bunker together and form these little militias, and it's all guerrilla style warfare, and it's pretty badass. It was on TNT back in the day, and it was like it's one of the better network shows. But they're doing it like how you would imagine if our technology just got wiped away, if we get hit with this big EMP pulse or whatever, and we're back in the Stone Age, and then we get to deal with futuristic technology. How would we deal with that? It would need to be like extremely guerrilla. Most likely, we would try to figure out what their intentions are, like what their relationship with us is, and like try to like Trojan horse it somehow. Like try to like whatever they are snatching up, if it's people or whatever. If it's people, if they're snatching up people, then most likely what we'd do is put a virus inside the person and use it as bait, and hopefully that would work.
That makes sense.
That's terrible, but that's probably what ends up happening.
It is terrible. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
They would try the Independence Day virus first. Like Bill Gates would be all over that, and I would imagine like Bill Gates like riding in the back of some jet or whatever, flying up, trying to like into the ship to do his Jeff Goldblum impression. Like I'm going to do it. I'm going to save everybody. This is my chance to like really get him on my side. And then just blows up. That's kind of what I'm expecting. But there's another movie coming out soon. The final trailer just dropped today. It's called Tomorrow War. I think Clyde talked about it a few weeks ago. And like when the first trailer had dropped. And essentially what they're doing is like they're being wiped out by like an alien invasion that takes place like in like 30 years from now or something. And there's just not enough people to deal with it. They're just like they can't deal with it, so they invented a time machine, and are using that time machine to go back and like get people who end up dying in that alien invasion to like fight again, and go back and getting them like in the past, to however long it was. If it was 10 years in the future, to go back 10 years in the past and get like Chris Pratt 10 years younger, because he ends up dying in the invasion anyways, so it won't affect the timeline. Or I don't know, it's weird, but that's the kind of lengths you would have to take if you were to like have to come up against something like this. I think what would most likely happen is that, I'll end with this, is that we would use robots. It would be AI. It would be AI versus aliens. And this is like, if they win, that's when AI would really take off. And that's where they would claim control of the planet. But we would use all those biohybrids that we were talking about, all kinds of like, any kind of like those robot dogs. We make them as scary as possible and as big as possible. We would use that giant Gundam robot thing that Japan's building, but we make it a war thing. Like it'd be Pacific Rim, like giant mech robots and half AI androids and cyborgs and like super soldiers and any kind of crazy sci-fi stuff we've been building the last few years. We have to throw it all at them in the hopes that like they're not too godlike. Like what if it was like Thor? What if it was like those aliens, like Asgardians, who each of them could destroy our planet on their own, let alone if they had an invading force. It'd be tough. Like,
yeah, no,
I know my plan.
It's a tall order. What's your plan?
Like, I'll end with this. Sorry, but like, I know, like, for the apocalypse, my plan had always been like, my resources are very slim. Like, I can't really like, I don't have a huge artillery in my house. I don't have like a basement stock full of stuff. But I work at the supermarket, so my plan had been like in 2012. I tried to work a 24-hour shift, but I ended up like working just overnight in order to be in the building in case the announcement gets made. Okay, aliens are coming, because as soon as that announcement gets made, it's going to be pandemonium. Everyone's going to be running for every kind of resource. So my plan was to be inside the building, because if I'm outside, there's no way I can get in. That's the ones who get in are going to be the ones with packing the heaviest artillery. But I know my terrain the best in here, so I would hide and try to like survive once like things settle down, and try to like piece my way up from the bottom that way. And that's kind of what we would need to do. We would need to we couldn't come up against them as an opposing force if they're so much more advanced than us. They will wipe us out. We would need to like kind of go, okay, here you go, and then hopefully after a few months like take out their king or their queen hive or whatever, and they would go. I don't know. It would be bad for us. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm glad you're on my side, my friend.
I'll let you. I'll let you go.
I appreciate it.
Really great show tonight, you guys.
Thanks for the call. That's Night Stalker. That's Derek from Massachusetts. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for the call. Great stuff there. And so what we're talking about tonight is, as you heard part of that, it's what would an alien invasion look like, all right? Like an actual one. We're not, again, a conspiracy speculation theater a little bit. And we're not talking about Project Blue Beam and fake alien invasions and government interference and things like that. We're talking about the actual thing. What if it actually went down? How do you think it would go down? And do you think it's a dangerous thing for us to be contacting aliens? We got another call. Let's go to Adam. It looks like Adam in Ohio. You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. How are you, my friend? Hello, hello? Are you there? Adam, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind tonight?
All right, great. So the last guy was right on some points, but I disagreed with the AI thing because from what I understand, the AI is what's going to be hurting us up. And all of our technology is going to be useless because they're so far ahead of us. They're going to be using whatever we have against us. But I believe in the 7 galactic entities, and that we are basically, it's been called down from on high that we basically are supposed to be seeing some shit happen here real soon. It is going to go down, and like we didn't pass the test of ascension as humanity on a whole, and basically the Anunnaki are going to be on the ground when it goes down. But I believe that like coronavirus is already basically, are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm listening.
All right. Yeah. Coronavirus is like the first step, except we implemented ourselves because like I think that it's like a biological nanotech that attacks our respiratory system. And I mean, I believe that the elite believe that they're going to like have their bases on Mars to run away to whenever the shit goes down. But, you know, I think the people that leave are going to be kind of be messed. They're going to be messed up because we're supposed to be here on Earth. So when you die, your soul progression, they're going to be messing up with their evolution of the souls. And in a sense, like whatever happens is supposed to happen. And we're going to be okay. You know, like, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I don't know. You following me a little bit?
Yeah, I'm with you. So you have faith in humanity that we're going to be okay. I'm with you there. Like I said, this is don't take this as doom and gloom. I'm not trying to do that. There's too much fear out there as it is. I'm kind of doing this as a fun, tongue-in-cheek kind of thought experiment. So it's okay. Like we don't have to be too serious here right now. So you got some good points. I appreciate you calling in. First time caller. You found us on Facebook, I presume.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
Right on. Thanks for listening.
So, thanks for having me as part of the show. And I just wanted to say, just hunker down and, love your family and just be the best that you can be and promote love. And as far as contacting aliens, is CNN or whatever said that, Washington Post, we're already in contact with aliens. I mean, they're contacting, the Palladians are contacting us with the crop circles in England and stuff, and people are leaving messages back. Like those, and the Palladians, they are the good ones. But like, I was told that the Anunnaki are going to be on the ground in the coming war, and I believe that we are going to instigate the next world war, and we're going to be fighting amongst ourselves, and then basically they're going to come in and finish us off. Now, there's also like what has happened in the past. What would they do in the case of an alien invasion? Well, let's see. They could hit us with an asteroid or a comet, which would be way more powerful than a nuclear bomb. Or you have a pole shift, which basically turns our land masses upside down. You can have water in the place of land or land in the place of water, and basically rearranges our entire topography. And volcanoes, eruptions, and it's not going to be just some chance of guerrilla warfare with some advanced technology. They're going to just do some shit that's going to wipe out most of us.
Okay.
And then come in and
Adam,
deal with the rest of it. Sorry about the language.
I was going to say, come on, we're on the radio, bro. We're on the radio.
Those are my beliefs on it, and whatever happens is going to happen. But stick to love and good intentions, and that will save us all.
All right, I appreciate the call. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your take tonight. That's Adam from Ohio. Appreciate that. All right, if you guys are listening to the show tonight, we are talking about alien invasion, and like I said, I like to call this conspiracy speculation theater, and it's this is not doom and gloom. We're having a good time. Just kind of I don't think an alien invasion is imminent, so don't quote me wrong on this. It's just fun to think about, fun to talk about, and so we are taking your phone calls on that topic. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds, and let's go to Daryl in New York. What's up, Daryl? You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. How are you?
Hey. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good show.
Thank you. What's on your mind tonight?
I like Night Stalker's idea about hunkering down in a supermarket. I think that's a great idea. Then you'll have enough to eat, and you can make all kinds of vinegar and baking soda bombs and things like that to defend yourself. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, not bad.
But I think they're already here, first of all, and I think their technology is so advanced. I think they're probably going to be able to control us, like mind control us collectively, and just plug into some kind of collective consciousness. That the only way we would be able to survive that is to have, at least 1% of the population has to be on the same mindset to fight that kind of power, Because already, when you hear about, people that are abducted, they don't have any control over what's going on when they get abducted. They seem to be able to be, manipulated into being examined and, all kinds of stuff, and they even forget that it even happened. So, it seems like they have amazing technology. Now, if we got our hands on their technology, I think we're even more screwed, But I think they would use their technology against, to control us more or less. And as far as annihilating us, maybe they'd need us, around, or they're just way too outnumbered yet to try to pull anything. I think they're intimidated by our size. But I think they're already here. I think their ability to cloak themselves is incredible. And even when you hear about the way they travel, like people that have been on ships, etc., or people that have witnessed the technology themselves, they say that it's almost like they control their spacecrafts with their minds, that they're symbiotic with the spacecrafts. The spacecrafts have exoskeletons. I don't know if you've heard that story. I've heard it more than once from different places, like David Dare. If you know David Adair, he was the one that made a rocket that back in the 70s. He's got a great story. He was on Art Bell for 7 hours. He's a rocket scientist. He's a genius. Anyway, he was taken on one of these crafts down at Area 51 that he described almost identical to Bob Lazar's story about Area 51. And also very similar to Linda Moulton Howe's story about Antarctica's technology, supposedly that her whistleblowers have seen, that they have ambient lighting and it's been underground for 2 million years and it still works, that's been under ice, So it's very similar to what they described Area 51. You can see the curvature of the Earth. I mean, this stuff is too many people have described very similar things about it. And we know we didn't build it, We didn't build that kind of technology. If it's really under the Earth, it's pretty amazing. So they've been here, and they're probably coming back, or they've never left, or, whoever they left here, they're coming back to get. I'm sure anybody that, let's say, died in Area 51, let's say, or Roswell, any of the aliens that we kept in formaldehyde, for example, supposedly under the White House, there's an alien from formaldehyde that Jackie Gleason saw. Anyway, I'm kind of going everywhere with this, but I think they've been here, and I'm sure it won't be great for us if they decide to invade, but hopefully there's enough good aliens that are going to protect us,
Yeah, so do you think, though, so if you think they've been here, do you think there is a danger there? Do you think that I can see the aspect of people saying, well, if if they have been here for a while and they wanted to take us over, 100 years ago would have been the perfect time before all the technology came, right? To where maybe we had the ability to fight back. So I can see that aspect. So I kind of see it as maybe if they are here, it's not a danger because, well, they could be at any point if they wanted to be, right?
They could have done it already. They would have done it by now. But we still probably wouldn't be able to, compete with their technology. The only thing we have on our side is our numbers. I don't think they could ever outnumber us. But at the rate we're going with these vaccines, maybe they're going to. I don't know. I mean, someone's trying to depopulate us. I don't know if it's the aliens or our own kind. I think it's maybe a little bit of both, for all we know. But that certainly would be the better method, something that we wouldn't even notice, that we couldn't even put our finger on, if they were going to take over. I don't think it would be an out-and-out war. I think that would be too obvious and too easy to protect ourselves, They would do something much more clever.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. So not only that, I mean, there's, as far as fighting a war, Gary there had a fantastic point. Like, why would you, when you could literally just sit in the asteroid field and just fling asteroids at the Earth, and you could literally do that and never have to risk anything. You just literally just level the Earth and kind of sanitize it of life, and then come take over. I mean, so I just don't think that type of fight will ever happen. I think if it happens, if it's a thing, right, I think it would be more of like an infiltration type, like something like that.
Yeah, that would be too destructive anyway. Why would they want to destroy the planet, because they have to live here too. I think they'd probably want to leave everything as intact as possible, and divert any asteroids. Hopefully they have the technology to do that and save the physical planet. They probably don't care that much about us. We could be replaced or re-engineered maybe, but I'm sure they would do something pretty clever, and if they already haven't, and who knows if they're already in place and they are behind a lot of things that are going on as we're speaking,
Which would be interesting, is an entirely other show in and of itself.
Yeah, they're probably listening to your show,
I hope not.
They're probably listening to all these shows. It's probably their best entertainment. They can relate,
I hope not. That terrifies me a little bit. Daryl, we're coming up to the bottom of the hour. We got to take a break. But go ahead. Final thought while we got you on the phone. We got to take a break in a minute here, though.
Go ahead.
No, for you. Final thought for you, my friend.
Oh, I was going to say I stuck that link in the chat of those I think it's called Alicant. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Stephen Greer was researching those Aliconda. Oh, I can't pronounce it. What's it called? They're Atacama aliens. They were found in, I think, South America and also in Russia. You could see the picture of them. They could fit, I think, in the palm of your hand, and they were alive when they were found. These little things are like, I don't know if they debunked it yet or not, but they can possibly be aliens that are really small, that are way more advanced than we are. Apparently, the woman in Russia was playing with it for a week, and then she gave it yogurt, and it died. And somehow its body mysteriously disappeared. But those things look like serious aliens to me,
Yeah, definitely.
I thought that was amazing. And he was trying to research, and he's had them, researched and X-rayed or done a lot of, as much as they can. And their DNA is totally not like ours. Whatever they are made up of, they have like one less rib or, one extra this or something. But they look like little like metallic aliens. It's pretty cool.
Good stuff. We'll revisit that at some point on this show. I appreciate the call tonight. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon. Hate to cut you off. We're out of time. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. We're talking about an alien invasion. Looking to hear from you, 702-957-1037. Don't go anywhere. More after the break. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. We are streaming on Facebook, DLive, and YouTube. We are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM. We are taking your phone calls at 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And we're talking about an alien invasion tonight. Of course, I'm not implying there's an imminent anything. I'm merely just kind of speculating what an actual flesh and blood extraterrestrial type alien invasion would look like. What do you guys think it would look like? It seems like if you ask 100 people, you get 100 different answers, which is exactly the type of conversation I like to have. One more time, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And let's continue, shall we? There's always more good information to talk about, and we'll look at some of the government programs they've put in place in just a sec here. And as we continue talking about this, don't worry, guys. The government is out there looking out for us. They're looking out for us. We'll get to that in a sec. Let's go to Beechwood real quick. Beechwood, you're on Trouble Minds with Mike. How are you, my friend?
I'm still doing good, and as you said, yeah, the government, trust the government. They have your best interest. But
that is what I said.
Anyways, I had a couple points I missed that I wanted to bring up about. Is one, the alien invasion could have already happened, and as a human race, we are domesticated. We are, and to a point, I have, pets, they're domesticated, but then on this planet, there's certain animals you can't really domesticate. They haven't reached that point. I mean, we try. There are people that have, grizzly bears and tigers in cage, but those animals aren't truly domesticated. We're domesticated. If I was to invade a planet, say I was one of the elite that could get off this planet and go to another planet, I would lie. It's just what I would do. Like I said, I would cheat to win. But so that we may have already been, tricked. The idea of currency, ownership, everything, our ethics, everyday life, the way we're distracted with entertainment, it may have already happened. But then the positive side of it is, we live in a 5-sense reality, which is amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and that's what I like about the show. It's like treasure hunting. For me, it's just about getting out there. You might find something, you might not. But the big question, that I forgot to add in was, hypothetically, say aliens did invade and they made their presence known and they had better technology than we did by far. You looked at it and you were like, I can barely even fathom it. If they said something about religion or a spiritual world, would you believe them? If they said, we still don't know where we came from, creationism, there's a God, would you believe it? Because humans have an incredible ability to talk their way in and out of situations. We've been proven the one species that curiosity hasn't killed yet. So if an alien came here and he had all this technology, I would be like, you don't want to kill me, man, because you're going to go to hell. And I would make, you don't know. We don't know. But that's reality. People believe that. And I also, what I forgot to mention was say science tackles our origins and we were from an extraterrestrial race, would people be dissatisfied with that and turn to the religious movement? And I know that the religious movement is both, it's a business for one, and, there are some people that are religious and it's fine. But, would that happen? That's, the question I had. I don't know, it might stimulate some people's brains and stuff. Definitely. I appreciate you tacking on there. Good stuff, as always, Beechwood. We got to keep on trucking here. We'll talk to you soon, okay? All right, my man. And get the T-shirts ready, man. Okay. I went to the future, so get the Trouble Buying T-shirts ready. Okay, you got it, buddy. They're coming to a shop near you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the calls, my man. That's Beechwood in Massachusetts. Good stuff as always. All right, we're taking your phone calls tonight, and we're talking about the alien invasion, all right? Now, not the fake one, not the Project Bluebeam, not the government trying to fake us out, nothing like that. We're talking about what happens. All right, basically, like I'm calling this tonight, conspiracy speculation theater, and I really like that term because it just allows us to really kind of meander through the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? And be able to just kind of no boundaries and just consider all possibilities. And I think for a healthy mind, at least for mine, I think it's part of why we do this. But okay, so in any case, like I said, like I promised as we went through the show, is that there is a governmental agency, all right? There's a governmental agency out there that's supposed to take care of us, that's supposed to watch over this, that, believe it or not, actually
actually is run by NASA. And hold on, I'll show you. I dropped the links in there. This is just too good to be true, right? So this is from this link I dropped. It's from sma.nasa.gov, and they have this actual, what would you call it? Like a subsection of NASA, right? And it's called planetary protection, like the planetary. Okay. All right. And so it's part of NASA. It's built in, guys. So we don't need to worry about any of this stuff because NASA has us covered, right? They've got this planetary protection thing. And this is straight from the website. This is a government website, by the way. It says this: planetary protection is the practice of protecting solar system bodies from contamination by Earth life and protecting Earth from possible life forms that may be returned from other solar system bodies. NASA's Office of Planetary Protection promotes the responsible exploration of the solar system by implementing and developing efforts that protect the science, explored environments, and Earth. NASA's planetary protection policies and requirements ensure safe and verifiable scientific exploration for extraterrestrial life. The main objectives are to, sorry as I laugh over here, the main objectives are to, number one, carefully control forward contamination of other worlds by terrestrial organisms and organic materials carried by spacecraft in order to guarantee the integrity of the search and study of extraterrestrial life if it exists, right? And we've talked about this kind of cross-contaminating as you explore, bringing life from Earth inadvertently and dropping it on Mars type of thing, and then life develops, and then we're like, look, it's aliens, and it's not, it's us. So you see, okay, that's good stuff there. It continues. Number two, the planetary protection, the discipline of NASA here, NASA, which of course, right, never a straight answer, is the second one. They are trying to rigorously preclude backward contamination of Earth by extraterrestrial life or bioactive molecules in returned samples from habitable worlds in order to prevent potentially harmful consequences for humans and the Earth's biosphere. Okay, and which we've talked about, actually. We talked about this in the past of how come there's no task force for this, for, bringing possible, deadly pathogens from Mars or something. Because, of course, right now, that's the next step, is bringing things back from other planetary bodies to Earth, right? And so if there's some really terrible things in there, at least we know NASA's on the case, and they're working on this. So they have this planetary protection sort of umbrella under NASA. But anyway, I thought it was a little bit funny that they actually had a portion of NASA called the Planetary Protection Division, and so I thought it was worth mentioning as a no need to worry, guys. No need to worry, NASA's on the case. But okay, so as we sit here and I laugh at myself, we're discussing an alien invasion tonight, all right? The conspiracy speculation theater. And what would that look like, all right? How would we fight back? Would we be able to? Do you think that the aliens at all or are interested in this planet? Or again, do you think this is all much ado about nothing and we're just kind of laughing here and laughing it up? I don't know. I don't know what to think about this other than I enjoy these types of conversations, and that's why we do them. But we are taking your phone calls tonight. We've had some fantastic calls. But what is your take on this? If the aliens invaded, all right, that's the premise here. If we got invaded by an alien presence, how do you think that would go down? Do you think there's an actual possible way for us to fight back? Or do you think that pretty much technology-wise, as it lines up, good game, Earth, it would be a wrap? I think that's what we're talking about tonight. And as we continue, taking your phone calls. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And yeah, that's what's happening. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Mike, and we're, as usual, I try and have fun conversations, ones that can kind of, take us out of the everyday monotony of, politics and the garbage that's in the news cycle. But so we started with this tonight, and this is a pretty good article, I thought, from the Washington Post, and they published this on their site. Its headline is this: "Contacting aliens could end all life on Earth. Let's stop trying." And that's really the premise of where we started. And maybe, right? I think that's a decent premise there of maybe sending that Voyager mission into space with the golden record and basically giving the aliens Cliff Notes, if you guys are old enough to remember what Cliff Notes are, the Cliff Notes version of what humanity is in this golden record sent out on the Voyager probe into space. Telling the aliens, well, we're here. Come find us. It may not have been the best idea. But of course, we're lucky in the capacity that if aliens are hostile, that probe is going to take tens of thousands of years to get anywhere, most likely. So I think that's probably worth discussing. That unless we're sending light, like at the speed of light type signals to alien planets type stuff, I just don't think it can happen fast enough. Maybe 10,000 years from now we might be in trouble, but I think we probably have bigger problems before we have to worry about like the 10,000 years from now alien invasion or whatever. So anyway, that's what we're talking about tonight. What is your take on this? Again, like I said, do you like this type of conversation? Always taking feedback on the show and looking to hear from you. 702-957-1037. Reading the chat here. TLC in Nevada says PPPA, Planetary Protection Protocol agents are now calling on you, Michael Strange. Well, thank you. I think the PPPA, is that what they're called now? That sounds like more government wasted money and red tape, but cool. Good stuff. I'm not sure if you're joking or that's a real thing, but I would believe you if it's a real thing. But okay, so now let's move on. So not only do we have NASA looking out for us, which we've pointed out here with the planetary protection agents, right? There's more. There's this MEDI that we were talking about, the actual MEDI.org, okay? And now this is the actual website of, instead of, SETI, the search for extraterrestrial life, this is METI, Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence, all right? And so this is the actual website, if you guys hadn't seen that, but that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier, as, not just searching. Now, searching is one thing to say definitively, oh, look, by the way, there might be some aliens out there at, approximately that vector in the sky, right? Like, that's one thing. But it's another thing entirely to be sending out information from here to those places to say, hey, by the way, we're here, right? Like I said, I'm not so sure that this is too much of a danger, in my opinion, just because we're such a noisy planet. Think about it. All the satellites buzzing around and the space shuttles and the this and that and all the things, and like the radio waves and the I Love Lucy transmissions that are already like light years away in space or whatever. I mean, come on. Like there's a lot of stuff going on this planet that I just don't think we can really be a sort of a quiet civilization, right? And so with that said, if there are extraterrestrial civilizations out there on the hunt, on the lookout for, primitives like us, because that's what we would be to them, right? A primitive civilization. I think they know we're here. I don't know. I mean, nothing's definite, of course, but it just doesn't make sense to me that any alien civilization with any kind of spacefaring ability would miss it and be like, oh, that little guy, Earth, the little blue dot over there. Oh, there's people on there. Wow, cool. No, I just don't think that's the case. But okay, what else do we have here? So this is an actual argument for, actually against. No, this is an argument against. This is pretty good stuff, right? I like when they do scientific papers discussing aliens because, I mean, how awesome is that? But this is an actual paper called "Searching for Trouble," written by Mark Buchanan, and he's discussing if there is some sort of issue or trouble or any of this that I'm talking about, danger, like an actual danger regarding reaching out to contact aliens. Pretty good stuff here. Like I said, I'm not into reading science papers on the air here because it'll put everybody to sleep. But I do want to link it and point it out because, there are scientists considering these things. This goes back to actually August of 2016. But it's good. It's good, people actually considering these things, these questions we're talking about in a serious scientific capacity. Again, don't get me wrong. Science is good. It's a good thing. I'm not that guy. It's just that, well, anyway, I digress. But let's go. Let's continue, shall we? There's more. There's some other links here that I want to talk about real quick. Here we go. All right. Now, this is from Forbes. Now, this is pretty cool. And exactly where I got that other link from. So this is actually from October 2015. And this one is, just as we finish off this conversation tonight, how the headline is from Forbes, again, October 2015. Headline is this: How NASA plans to protect planets against alien invasion. Yep, it's out there. It's out there, and these are the things that are going on here. And I don't know. We talked about it. It's it's the Office of Planetary Protection is what this thing is actually called. All right, and so they've got some the no risk contamination, the negligible risk, the slight risk, the possible risk. They've got all these broad categories of how not to contaminate the solar system as we do our thing and visit these other places and stuff. But interestingly, like I said, it's kind of not about that. We're talking about much larger things. And as such, let's go to the New York Post. And yep, that's right. As of August 2017, the New York Post reported this: the emergency action plan for an alien invasion on Earth. And that's what I'm talking about. Now, that is what I'm talking about. All right. So, again, right, so unfortunately we end up talking to Nick Pope again in this article, which is frustrating, but okay. Let's see. Here we go. A broadcaster utters the words: Theresa May has drawn up an emergency war cabinet who will be briefed immediately regarding protocols of possible alien invasion. A COBRA meeting, the UK's equivalent of the Situation Room, may have already been called. Nick Pope, of course, the former Ministry of Defense UFO advisor, believes, quote, key players would include the Secretary of State for Defense, the Chief of the Defense Staff, and a government chief scientist. And so, so he's insinuating that there's an actual plan in place for if there was an actual alien invasion on Earth. Now, of course, right, the sources are what the sources are, and I linked them so you guys can see where I got the information. Like I said, I'm not in the business of making things up except when I am, and then I'll tell you conspiracy, speculation, theater. But a lot of this is based on sources, as you can see. Is that if you take some of this stuff, some of the scientific conversation, or some of this type of thing, where Nick Pope believes that he understands how it would work. There would be a emergency meeting, and that there are protocols in place for this already. Well, sure, fine. It's one thing to talk about it, right? But it's another thing entirely to mount a strategic defense. What would you call it? We'll call it the SDI, the Strategic Defense Initiative of Earth, right? Against an actual alien invasion. Different, right? It becomes different. And anyway, like I said, that's the conversation tonight. We got a few more minutes left. If you guys have a take on this, what do you think about it? Do you think that if there was an alien invasion, an actual one, that we would be have a chance? How do you think that would go down? And do you think we're in any danger whatsoever as we continue to reach into the cosmos and ask for attention from interstellar species, right? Because it seems like that's what we're doing. If we haven't really contacted them yet, if they haven't noticed us, we are sure not doing a very good job of staying quiet. And I'm not sure we're supposed to. So there it is. Like I said, a few more minutes for you if you have a take on this. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And we're just here kind of talking about alien invasions. And like I said, conspiracy, speculation, theater a little bit. And what this means, what all this is about. And like I said, nothing's imminent here. I'm not trying to imply anything or none of that. Please, again, don't take me wrong. You got to throw the disclaimers out there because people hear you say one thing and they hear something else entirely. So that's not what I'm saying. I don't think this is imminent. I don't think we have anything to worry about. I think we're okay. I think there's going to be no problems here, and but it is fun to talk about. It is fun to think about. So that's what we're doing tonight. So as we continue and do this show goes Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific. If you guys didn't know, I also do a news show on Monday and Friday at 3 p.m., and that happens on Twitch exclusively. We do that live and kind of go through the news cycle and talk about some specific news stories that probably don't get mentioned enough. I think that's really the premise of that whole show, is kind of looking at news cycles from a different way. And of course, as you know, since I watch these news cycles, they end up as shows like this, as you see some of these fantastic things pop out from who knows where, the Washington Post or the New York Times or who knows, wherever this stuff comes from. Good stuff. Let's see. Timothy says in the chat, read the agenda for sustainable living. What's up? Good stuff there. Good stuff. Looking to hear from you, Tim, if you want to give us your take on this. I know you got smart stuff to say all the time. What's up, Joshua there? All right, guys. All right, guys. So as we finish this up, got a couple minutes left for you. 702-957-1037. What would an alien invasion look like? And do you think we have any reason to be afraid of this? And it's been explored a little bit by some other folks. Like there's that Mysterious Universe podcast. They've done one of these. This is an article written by Brett Swanser, and alien invasion. Could it really happen, and how would it play out? So there's some information out there where, like I said, I was a little bit shocked that there was a lot of information about people speculating about this, which is fun to me. It's fun. I mean, I'm not trying to save the planet from imminent doom or anything like that, but it is kind of one of those fun thought experiments in, and at least from a human perspective. Because how would we know? I mean, we don't even know what aliens are at this point, right? I mean, they could be these little balls of light. They could be, those Tic Tacs flying in the air. Those could not be, maybe not craft. Maybe those are the actual aliens themselves. Who knows? I mean, it is really all over the place. And maybe they're here and they're watching us and they're doing all the things. And us, we're just trying to get by, right? And we're just trying to do our thing and not destroy the planet and not start World War III. Because I think, well, that's noble enough in itself, right? Am I right? If only the governments of the world thought in a similar fashion. But okay, so as we finish, like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when we do Troubled Minds. 7 p.m. Pacific, we do it on DLive, Facebook, and YouTube. We broadcast live on the Fringe FM. Thank you to Joe Roop for giving us a spot here to talk about these things late into the night, to broadcast all over the world. And if you're into this type of talk, don't go anywhere. After this show comes Joe Roop Lighting the Void, which is a more fantastic talk about all kinds of fantastic things. So, as we finish this up, I hope you had a good time. I hope that these conversations hopefully bring out maybe just a different way for you to look at the world, because that's really what this is all about. That's what the conversation is to me. And just to let you know, the world isn't what we're being told, for sure. I don't know, I don't know about the aliens questions or any of the rest of that. Like I said, I'm not the answers guy. Please don't mistake me for that guy. I'm just here trying to have a good conversation and ask some questions with you. So, like I said, if you enjoyed this type of thing, please, please, please spread the word. Let people know, hey, come check out the Fringe FM. Look at this guy, Michael Strange. They're talking about alien invasions, for crying out loud. Spread the word. Let people know. Good conversation happening here. Like I said, thanks for hanging out with us. You guys are the best. You make my world go around, and I appreciate it quite a lot. As for now, we're done. Stay tuned for Joe Roop Lighting the Void. Be sure, be strong, be true. One more hour of Troubled Minds on DLive, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you for listening. From our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night. Okay, welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we are talking about what an actual alien invasion might look like. And so as a result of that, we've got some interesting takes from some interesting folks so far. Some smart people out there kind of thinking out of the box and wondering what an alien invasion might look like. And as I stated, it's really hard to tell. It's hard for me to fathom that there's an actual contingency plan, right? Like a governmental contingency plan to really take on an alien invasion, because there's so many factors you'd have to really, and the possibilities are seriously endless, all right? Unless, of course, we have actual intelligence, right? Actual intel on ET. That's different, all right? That's different. But if we're speculating on what it might look like from like a layman's perspective, like from my perspective, for instance, I don't know anything. You don't. It's just, I'm pulling from the same information on the internet. But it's really hard for me to believe that the government at large has enough intelligence on extraterrestrials to really formulate a defense plan, a planetary defense plan. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's up, Kelly? What's up, Shelly? Sherry. Sorry, Shelly. I can't read. What's up? What's up, guys? All right. So we're still taking your phone calls. If you guys have hot takes on this, and what do you think it would look like? Do you think? And of course, we're open to all the other speculations of what is ET? Should we be afraid of them? Things like this. I know that some folks have some good takes on that stuff as well. So we can open up the conversation a little bit further. If you're bored with alien invasions, because that's what we do on this show anyway. We talk about weird stuff. All right, so let's see. What do we got? Let's say hi to the chat. Let's go back to the chat for a second, kind of catch up on what's going on. Let's see. What do we got? Who's out there? We got, what's up, Penny? We got Kate. What's up, Daryl? Let's see. Who did I miss? I want to make sure I said hello to everybody. Mr. Mission Control. What's up, buddy? We got Metal Dog. We got NS. What's up, guys? Let's see. Yes, I feel better, Penny. Yes, I didn't catch the details, but if you're not feeling well, thanks for showing up and hanging out with us tonight. Do feel better. Let's see. What else do we have? Who else is out there? Hello. What's up? Kate says, could be butterfly-like creatures. And that's true. I think that's part of the weirdness of this, is that if we don't really know what we're expecting, then how can you plan for the defense of it, right? I mean, you can't plan for like the Battle of the Bulge when it's flying saucers coming at you. You know what I'm saying? Like these types of things, it does not compute. It's not the same thing at all. But anyway, let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. What else do we got? Who else is out there? What's up, guys? So taking your phone calls. What do you think about this stuff? 702-957-1037. What's up? Tam is still here. I'm still here. So I'm still here too. Let's see. Tim says, with the tech independence comes apathy and people who are oblivious to what's going on. Humans lose their humanity. And yes, exactly. And I think that's part of this, well, I mean, in part, I think why it's important to kind of talk about some things that are outside the realm of reality sometimes, right? Because it kind of has a way of snapping people by expanding the brain, thinking about things far out there. It kind of maybe makes you realize the situation closer. It kind of brings it into better focus, if you know what I'm saying. But okay, so anyway, good stuff there. What's up? Let's see. Who else is out there? What's up? Robert says, the human race has survived every terrestrial calamity so far. Those aliens would not be so much smarter than us if they think we wouldn't survive them. And again, right, like we do have numbers. There's like billions of us and, that whole bit. So just I think that's a good take there, is that I'm not really worried about that, to be honest. Like I said, it's more speculation theater here, just kind of kicking out some fun ideas to talk about. What's up, Diane? What's up, Joshua? I see you there. What's up, guys? Let's see. What else? Tim says, I have to read that book, just the other 9 maybe. I'm not sure which book you mean. What's up, guys? We can go back to the planetary defense plan if you guys want to talk about that, which is pretty funny. I thought that was a pretty hilarious thing. All right. Yeah, you calling? You can come on, Tim. You're up, buddy. Whoever's calling, you're up next. Let's hear what you think about the alien invasion. And again, like I said, we're not. This isn't the geopolitical version of this. This is the conspiracy speculation theater version of this. So it's all good. Elizabeth says, "Are they going to do the big distraction?" Yeah, and I think, like I said, we talk about that often, and that like I say, the conspiracy circles and discussing Project Blue Beam and things like this. Definitely. Let's see what else. Yeah, Joe says, drop a few more boomsticks and they might show up. That could be. Maybe, check this out. Here's another one, is that maybe they're here and they're hiding, and that's why all these sightings are going through the roof, and this disclosure thing is coming about because they're waiting for that moment, for the next nuke to drop somewhere, and then they're going to step in and start kicking people's asses, or make it stop. I don't know. I hope so. Cross your fingers, right? That we have somebody looking looking out for us. Somebody, I say. Anyway. All right. So still taking your phone calls. 702-957-1037. Saying hi to chat, catching up on what's going on out there, and and sipping some whiskey. Over here. But okay, so if you have a take on this, we're talking about alien invasions tonight. So let's go back to that fun one, because I thought that was pretty hilarious. The actual protection, the protocols. No. This was what was it? This is Earth's best defense against an alien invasion. And this is written by David Grove. Good stuff. Let's go circle back around to this. I know everybody doesn't sit for the whole show. So let's take a look at this real quick and consider these possibilities. I think that's what's going on here, is that we're considering possibilities is all. And how far-fetched? Well, I'll leave that up to you, but... Yeah. Tim says, I bet a whole bunch of UFOs get seen tomorrow. Yeah, I'm hearing this, that people think that there's something afoot, something happening, like it's coming. Something's coming, right? The age of Aquarius and the UFOs and all the things. I don't know. I don't know about all the things. I don't know about all that. But I do know that we can talk about things in particulars, and that's what we're doing. So let's see. What else do we got? Who else is out there? All right. I think I've got everybody. If I missed saying hi, just type in the chat where you're listening from, and I'll say hello. Like to be social here. Actually, let's look at this too. This is pretty good. So this is where I got some of this. This is from Quora, and let's see. Let's share this here. Actually, here we go. I got Axel. Let's go to Axel on Discord. What's up, Axel? You're on Troubled Minds with Mike. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Mike. Nice to talk to you again.
You as well.
I basically was just calling to agree to a point that you made before the last hour, which is that we have the technical ability to detect nearby industrial civilizations if we really wanted to, like the engineering of building space telescopes and putting them in an array and being pretty good at looking at nearby stars and planets is something we could do if we invested the money in. But if we wanted to destroy a civilization around another star, that's well beyond our technical capabilities. So I do think that any hostile alien species probably can detect civilizations way further away than they can blow them up. And so it doesn't seem to make sense about worrying about reaching out to them.
Yeah, well, meaning that we're probably safe, because it's just the universe is so vast, just the galaxy is so vast that it may be moot. I mean, we're talking, maybe thousands, tens of thousands of light years, maybe millions of light years, just to get a signal from here to there.
Right. If there's an alien species that really aggressively wants to kill its neighbors, it would find us before it would be able to kill us. And so it's not like we're going to tell them anything that they don't know, really, about what's going on in their neighborhood.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that. I just think that there's much ado about nothing with the people going, oh no, don't reach out, it's too late. I mean, like I said, we're kind of a buzzing, noisy planet in space already, so it's not like we're going to suddenly be like, oh, this one laser beam we sent in this exact trajectory is going to let the aliens know we're here. Come on.
Yeah, they'd have to have some really specific psychology, like, well, for some reason, we only get mad when they try and contact us. Otherwise, we're fine with them being out there on their own. So, yeah, I basically agree with that. I think also there's also the thing, if there really are alien races out there that do want to wipe out all the races they come across, probably our only real way to survive would be to contact them and convince them not to kill us.
Right, like Beechwood said, we'll try and talk our way out of it. No, come on, You're making a big mistake. I thought that was hilarious.
Although if you want to put on your conspiracy hat, maybe that is why we've stopped advancing in our spacefaring abilities. Maybe the aliens did contact the governments and were like, nah, you guys can't have faster than light travel, or we're going to blow you up. So you better just sit on it, stay there.
Yeah, I could buy that. Like, there's the rumor, that the aliens were up there on the moon waiting for us when we landed, and they gave us the old nope. Sorry, guys, you're not allowed to do this.
Yeah, basically trying to explain to the mice that they have to stay outside and not inside the house.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I think it's a little different because right? We're not going to go to the moon for actual cheese. But you catch what I mean. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, again, there's a lot of doubts on whether that actually went down, of course. But it is rumored in the conspiracy circles, so I thought I'd bring it up as a funny. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like so what about actual alien invasion though? Like, let's say again, let's throw all those things out that say it probably won't happen, and suspend disbelief for a sec. But do you think we have a chance if something like that went down?
Well, I don't want to reveal too much because it might be spoilers for a project we might end up doing at some point.
I see.
Yeah, I think there is, but I do think that is mostly going to be in the realm of something fictional, in the sense that, like, I mean, you could craft a scenario in a TV show or a movie or wherever where we would have a chance. I do have to say that I think if we're being, what's the most likely outcome if we run into a hostile alien species? It's going to be that, they already control much more territory than we do. They're already much more advanced, and they're just going to be dictating whatever terms. They'd either be dictating whatever terms they want to us, or it'd be a situation that was like, in our world with like colonialization or the displacement of, the indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, where they're going to be in so much a better position to play one human government off against the other human governments to get what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. Well, I don't even think there'd be any negotiation. It would literally be like they name the terms, and it's like take it or leave it, and we're moving in. You want to play ball or you don't. Sorry, go ahead.
It depends. It depends how the reason why the Europeans couldn't just conquer the Western Hemisphere immediately is, you couldn't bring that many people over. And so if it's a situation where, individual spaceships just aren't very powerful and there aren't very many of them at a time, I could see them taking the approach of, well, which one of you governments wants some of this advanced technology? Okay, here's what we need you to do. And so I could maybe see it not being like an overt, we're just going to, drop an asteroid on the planet. But I just think that I can't think of a time in history where that worked out, where people all got together on the same page and were like, no, we're not going to deal with these outsiders that have stuff we want. Except maybe Japan, although even then we ended up having forced them to open their markets to us.
Right. Well, I mean, and I think, again, geopolitics is going to have nothing on this. I mean, it's called exopolitics, actually, right? That's what Dr. Michael Salla calls it. Have you ever heard that?
No, although, I mean, the term makes sense. But yeah, I just think, what was I going to say? I just think that, they're going to know so much more about the galactic situation than we do. They can strike at us directly. We wouldn't have any ability to strike back. They have stuff that every government in the world would desperately want. I think they would just hold all the cards, and they would probably in short order end up getting whatever it was they wanted for whatever they are willing to pay for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then there's the whole, they're here to eat us. And then, of course, well, there's no negotiating at all. It's just, they just take us and eat us, right? I mean, there's that.
Well, you want a sustainable supply of humans, right? So, you'd have to do some, like I said before once, you'd have to engage in wildlife management of the human race. You'd have to be like, okay, we have demand for 50,000 people a year. You guys got to come up with that.
At least that. And so some have actually suggested that we already live in a zoo of sorts. That zoo hypothesis, right? Is that they're here, but they're watching us from that Star Trek perspective of they can't really mess with us, so they're kind of managing it as a wildlife preserve anyway. So maybe,
yeah. I'll confess that if you ask me what the most likely extraterrestrial contact scenario would be, I think it probably would be, probably just the way, interstellar travel is likely to work would be that they just economically, it wouldn't make any sense for them to come here. It's not like they're going to make money off of it, or we'd really have anything that they would desperately need that they couldn't get somewhere else. So I do have a feeling you probably would be dealing with, diplomats, and they'd want some sort of cultural exchange if they're interested in meeting other people. Because you'd have to have a really specific set of physics where it makes sense to take stuff that is, hundreds of light years away from your home world and bring it back to your home world. You know, I mean, there's the reason why we really haven't done any space exploration in the last 30 years is like largely because there's no public will for like a big investment in stuff that doesn't have a payoff.
Yeah. Like it's just like pure logistics, right? It makes sense. There'd be something closer that they need. They wouldn't have to come all the way out here unless they were specifically trying to pick a fight, right? Which of course is the problem.
Or they'd be a race that is like, we're willing to devote a lot of time and energy to things that don't have a material payoff, which is possible, but then that also probably means, you know, they're not here looking for a material payoff. They're not looking to be like, well, how can we get something out of this? You know what I mean? Yeah,
it seems so non-alien, actually. Just meaning that, of course, I don't presume to know motivations of aliens, but that they wouldn't be kind of running under the profit motive. You know what I'm saying? It seems like they'd be past that at some point, and contact and things like that would probably be a little more likely, in my opinion, or decimation or war or whatever. Like, who knows? Like actually taking it over. But I still think that at some point, right? Like I'd like to believe that I think eventually we evolve into something great, and if that means that to be the spacefaring civilization in a Star Trek, you know, post-scarcity type of situation, I think that they would too, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty I'm pretty bullish in the medium term of like humanity doing a lot of like near Earth space exploration and like space construction. I think that's totally possible. But I do think that all the going to other star systems things is possible, but it's possible contingent on us figuring out some principle of physics we don't understand right now that makes it possible to travel those distances, you know, within a couple of years or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Like again, trying to figure out the motivations of aliens is alien in and of itself, right? It's one of those weird things where I don't know. Like I said, it's fun to think about, is it not? Like I don't have answers to this, but it is definitely fun to kind of kick the can back and forth and maybe decide what the hell's actually going on.
It's fun to speculate about. I agree.
All right, fair enough. Anything else while we got you on, my man?
No, that's it. I'll listen to the show. It's a good show tonight, and I'll listen to the rest of it.
Appreciate it. We're going to do a D&D night with Axel, some role-playing stuff coming to a... we messed up on Sunday, so it's coming. We'll announce it as we get close, and thanks for...
Yeah, I just say I can't speculate too closely about what an alien invasion might look like for that reason.
Oh, I see. Wink, wink. Wink, wink. Gotcha. Yeah. Some role-play action. All right, I appreciate it, Axel. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right.
Thanks, bro. There you go. There you go, guys. You guys want to be part of the show? 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. That's Axel from Twitter, and met him over there. Fine fellow, and he's going to do some dungeon mastering for us, and we're gonna play some role playing games and stream it for you guys if you guys are interested in that. So we'll have some fun with some X-Files theme type stuff, and he's giving you a little bit of hints right there, a little bit of hints. But okay, so we're still taking your phone calls. We're talking about an alien invasion, guys, like an actual alien invasion, and speculating what that might mean, right? If it's going to be not the fake alien invasion, not the Project Bluebeam, not that thing, the other thing, right? The aliens show up. What would that look like? What do you think it's something we should be afraid of, or do you think that let's say if it did happen, we stood a chance in actually dealing with them? I think that's yeah. Yeah, there you go. Jay says, I still will be the guy collecting firewood. There you go. Go get the firewood. Go get the beers and the firewood, and that's a D&D joke when you're out camping. Okay, well, good night, Fred. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's see. Going to the chat. What's up, guys? I see you out there. What else is going on? Looking to hear from you guys. 702-957-1037. What do you think about a possible alien invasion and the rest of that stuff? Let's see. NS says, aliens roll a natural 20 to destroy Earth. Exactly. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe that's what goes down. I hope not, but maybe that's what goes down. But okay, so as we continue talking about this stuff, alien invasion, right? And it's not just the Project Bluebeam style. We've talked about that and other times. We're talking about the actual thing. What happens if aliens actually come to Earth and they are hostile, right? Very much like the movie Signs, or very much like War of the Worlds back in the day, or very much like Independence Day, things like this, right? That Hollywood loves to, what was that cartoon crazy one? Something on Mars Attacks. Yes, that's what it was called. Right, like Hollywood loves to do this, where it's they pit us against the extraterrestrials. Then it makes for a great plot device, and we end up, defeating the bad guys, of course, because go humans, right? America, we're gonna win this fight. But I don't know. So what do you guys think regarding that? What do you think it would look like if aliens were actually hostile? And what? Yeah, that's the conversation tonight. So let's go back to this real quick. This is a pretty funny article from. Actually, this is from Quora real quick. No. Let's go to the funny one. Let's do none of the above. Let's go to Jay, or let's go to Ash. Actually, Ash, are you there, buddy? We got Ash the reptilian, maybe tuning in from Mars, and then we got Jay after that. What's up, Ash? Are you there, buddy? Test 1 2.
Yeah. Don't worry about the alien invasion. Just sit at home, relax. Just kick up your feet, watch YouTube and TikTok. Don't worry about it. When I take over, everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Just don't worry about it. Okay. That's. Well, I mean, come on. Look at your human leadership. It's not that good anyway, right? Come on, you could do better. Meaning I could do better.
Oh, right.
When I enslave you.
It's a good trade to make. One bad ruler for another. No problem, right? No sweat. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Can't be any worse.
No, yeah. Can't be any worse. Right?
Yeah, exactly. What's up? How you doing, man?
Doing good. Just doing our thing, man. Talking about aliens tonight. I found this article. I don't know if you're listening for the whole show. I'll just fill you in real quick. And it's from the Washington Post, and the headline is "Contacting Aliens Could End All Life on Earth. Let's stop trying." Right. So clearly they're saying that we're going to provoke some sort of alien hostility. And so you know me, and I start like to drink a lot of the maybe juice. I was like, wait a minute, what about an actual alien invasion? What is that? And so, well, yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight. Have you actually considered the logistics of a real alien invasion there, Ash?
Yeah. Honestly, it's one of the biggest reasons I even started coming in and calling in. If you remember, I was the crazy guy talking about mantises, but I do the show. I come on every Wednesday. By the way, I'll be on tomorrow night. And we talk about all kinds of stuff, but there's seriously something that does trouble my mind, and that is that if you actually do investigate these sort of things and you look around, it's a confusing mess of what's real and what isn't. But if you peel that back and you look at like the abduction phenomenon, you start to come to this conclusion, because there's a lot of consistency there, that there is potentially an invasion already happening. I just got Richard Dolan's book. What's it called? Alien Agendas or something like that, where he kind of goes through the data and compiles it. And there seems to be a lot of different beings potentially, but there's already one that is active with this planet, and they're these tall, like, insectoid things. And if you go through the lore, you can get hints of them throughout, like. Supposedly talking to presidents, or if you look at like the Men in Black, it was a bug, or Encounters of a Third Kind, you can kind of see one for like a couple frames. There's hints of this hive, this thing. And in his book, I'll stick with his material. Richard Dolan describes him as the most powerful extraterrestrial race that interacts with Earth, and almost seems as if they have either the blessing or they just go right beyond our government. And it's an issue, man. It's been going on for a while, and it's still going on, where they've created these hybrids that they've created like humans that look like us. And it's such a weird subject, and people don't talk about it. The UFO community just looks the other way, but it could be the most important subject. And I almost wonder if disclosure is coming out because of these beings. Recently, there was a movie on Netflix where there's like a hybrid kid who's like half deer, and then a week later, Robert Downey Jr. He posted, "Get ready for the hybrid children," and there's like a weird video of like a half eagle, half human baby robotic thing they got going on. So anyway, it's really weird subject. It's I don't know what's going on with it and whatever. But if it seems as if these beings, for whatever reason, have created their own instance that can exist here. And anyway, yeah, it just irks me because no one talks about it, and it seems like such a important subject. If it is true, and there's a lot of evidence for it.
Well, a lot of evidence. I don't know. Like if you look at the Dr. David Jacobs stuff, that stuff always creeps me out, right? Because he says he has like this small geographic area around Philadelphia, and he's finding tons of people that have been abducted. All right, and then he goes on to say that if it's happening like that in just his tiny area, that he finds these people through his regression hypnosis things that have been abducted, and multiple times even. That if it's happening, around him, it's happening everywhere, all over the damn world, and that's the stuff that creeps you out, right? When you start looking at the evidence like that. But I don't know, like beyond that, I'm not so sure, man. Evidence-wise, I'll just leave it at that. We can, you'll have to convince me. You'll have to show me some mantis aliens, and then then I'll probably crap my pants, and it'll be a bad day. It'll be a very bad day.
And that's fair, man. It's fair that you can. There's, it's almost like the skepticism is there for people to have their cognitive dissonance, so they could be like, well, maybe it's bullcrap, right? So you can sleep at night, right? Because honestly, it is terrifying. It's a terrifying thing, but like, it's got as much evidence as anything else, in my opinion. It's like, those TikTok videos released with radar data and all this stuff. Meanwhile, you got like some of these guys debunking them, and I'm doing air quotes, as birds. It's like no matter what you put out there, at some point you could debunk them. But these are millions of people across the planet. I mean, it's like a percentage of the population, like 1% to 3% of the population. People have missing time, whatever, and it's a very typical story where they like think something's wrong, or they saw a light. They kind of remember something. They seek regressive therapy, and they have very similar experiences where there's this commonality, and this event is happening. It's covert. So I mean, what else would be an alien invasion? And it's weird because the whole experience is weird because it's aliens. alien, is an alien experience, an alien force. And man, if we just slowly get conquered, and it's because like people just didn't want to talk about it because it's icky. It just seems like such a dumb way to lose, And anyway, I think I just
you're right.
It's
you're
like
totally right. We were too embarrassed to talk about it, so we couldn't drop an actual formula to fight back. So we just got taken over. Congratulations.
Yep. And I always wonder, like, Tom DeLonge and those crews say they're in a chess game against the others, right? Maybe that's who they're talking about. Maybe some of these events that we see are part of it. And, we're kind of, there's this grand chess game going on. We don't really understand it. Or maybe the vaccine has something in it, right? That like, maybe it was involved in this. Who knows what kind of grand chess game is going on? Supposedly, that's what they claim. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. I know I always bring it up, guys, and it's not like my claim to fame or anything. I'm genuinely concerned about this, and so I think it's important. I think that if you really want to know, like, what are aliens and what are they doing, I think that's a really good spot to look, and you can look for yourself. I even have a photo of one, like one interdimensionally there, which is kind of interesting. That was caught by some Japanese photographer, and then he went and developed his. He looked at his photos later, and he saw something in it, and it was on like Japanese TV, and people were like, "Oh, what is that?" So anyway, you say alien invasion, who knows? It could be taken. It could be more covert, Maybe they don't need to like bomb us. Maybe they've already won. They met with the government and was like, "Hey, look, we just take you out whenever we want. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna slowly take over your population. There's nothing you can do about it. Maybe the government can't do anything about it, and that's why they never disclosed. I don't know. But yeah, I just want to pop in and talk about that opportunity to talk about mantis aliens. So
mantis aliens. All right, let's get your take then real fast before you got to go. You can stay if you want, but if you got to bounce, that's cool. Your take real fast before you do go, if you're going. I'm trying to get an answer here, but if we are invaded, do you think we have a shot at fighting back?
I don't think. I think that with the vastness of time and space, the chances that we somehow manifest as a civilization in such a short window of time without the maintenance of some third-party extraterrestrial race seems impossible. Meaning, if they were here before, they're here now, and they're going to be here in the future. So, whatever, if like it's like the planet, right? We're developed, whatever. There's still indigenous cultures out in the jungle, and when we discover them, we keep tabs on them. But at the end of the day, those cultures are within our global system. Like, it's not like they're going to develop independently enough that they can demand their own isolation. It's like, no, it's like there's no reason for us to invade them or do anything with them until there is a reason, until they're we need to bulldoze their land, or they start attacking local villages. But at no point is their sovereignty their own. Right, they're already within a system, just like this galaxy. Is whatever wherever we are, whatever is going on right now, we are within something else's system that is already here. So, whatever that means, man.
Like, we're allowed to be what we are. It's because we're part of that. We're allowed to be, and until we cross a line, maybe. They may be hands off, right?
Right. Like, the UFOs visiting our nuclear facilities. There was a flurry of UFO activity, and then there was a wave of UFOs that flew over the White House shortly after that. And then supposedly our government met with extraterrestrials. And you and I have done shows where they talk about our extra-dimensional, basically, friends. So I suspect that we're already in communication. Maybe different governments are already in communication with these different extraterrestrials. And other people claim there's lots of different factions, and there is some sort of exopolitical game, chess game being played out. If you look at what's being played out today, it almost seems like someone is dictating to our elites, and they're dictating to us, and they're trying to reel it in, versus us as free people voting in the elites and then them working on our behalf. It's like, no. It seems like there's dictation coming from a third party, someone else or something. So alien invasion, I mean, probably there's no need, right? It's already a done deal, I imagine. So let's just hope the deal doesn't suck. Let's hope our reptilian overlords aren't jerks, right?
Let's hope Bill Gates and Henry Kissinger made a good deal on our behalf.
Oh God, Henry Kissinger, the man of the deals.
Exactly.
Oh man, he really made a good deal with China. Wow, that was really good for America. Good job, Henry Kissinger.
Nice work,
he was the politician who worked with China for the last 20 years. He thought that if we cut China in on trade deals and the trade network and stuff, that they would see the light of capitalism and and become a free country and an ally. And so
why the hell
that didn't work out.
Well, it's still trying to work itself out. Thanks for popping in, Ash. You're the best, bro. What will we doing tomorrow night? Any idea?
Ooh,
send me a message. I don't want to put you on the spot. It's all
right. No problem. All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right.
See you later.
Thanks for popping in. Ash, the Reptilian from Mars, guys. Follow him on YouTube. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. Jay, hang on. We'll do the outro with Jay. Let's go to Kelly. Let's go to Kelly on line 1. Kelly from Colorado, you're on Troubled Minds with Mike. How are you, my friend?
Good evening, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Go right ahead. What's on your mind tonight? Do we have a chance against an alien invasion?
That answer, in my opinion, would be probably not, no. And the reason why I would say that is because if you have an intergalactic civilization that's roaming around the world and wants to take over, and not, let's say, okay, so like Ash kind of put it in perspective a little bit when he's saying, they're kind of in, your own little section like this galaxy and stuff, there's like subsections of, or parsecs or whatever you want to call it, in Star Wars, but like sections of the universes. And, but if there was an alien species, let's first off just go this way. If there's an alien species and there's laws out there, maybe they would only come here for trade, not to take over a whole population of a planet. Because if you do a whole takeover of a planet, again, we're talking numbers here, but even numbers would probably be nothing to them. Like that one thing you were talking about earlier, the guy was saying, blow up the satellites or whatever. Again, if they're intergalactic spaceships, I'm pretty sure they got some kind of a force field around them that they wouldn't even, have anything to worry about.
Exactly.
They'd probably just glide right.
Yeah.
They probably would glide right through that.
Yeah.
Because they got to worry about, if you're jumping through gates,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so another thing to me,
you got to appreciate his tenacity for planning, though, right? I mean, just saying.
Yeah, that's something you got to do. But to me, that would probably be anything. But it'd be, for me, if you're looking at a whole planetary takeover, you want to look at like that Independence Day, that show Independence Day. That would be a prime example. Because he would come in from a mothership, it would have to be huge. And we're talking about like whole generations of these species on a planet-sized, spaceship or something. It would have to be huge because there would be no reason or any other, unless you have weapons that are, very dangerous. Let's just put it that way. But so you would take some smaller ships. And if you're scanning the planet, where do you find most populations at? In cities, right? You knock out most cities or just destroy them like they did on Independence Day, and you got millions of people, and then you just gather up the leftovers. And it's almost kind of, talking about this almost kind of reminds me of that caller way back in the day when he called Art Bell, and he was kind of explaining this, is that these species that they're not really an alien that we think about. They were more of a interdimensional, is what he explained. It was a precursor to the Apollo missions that they came here. And he's saying that when they take over, they want to take out the cities, the most populated areas, and then they would gather everybody else and put them in like camps. That's what he was explaining, if you remember that call. I don't know. It's kind of a famous one. Everybody's heard it. It was on Art Bell. But, that's what you would want to do, because you could use those people, as slaves or whatnot, or just, get rid of them altogether. But, yeah, if you got to think technology-wise, we probably have no chance. Even if they're saying, let's use nuclear weapons, they've already proved it that, these other spaceships or UFOs or whatever you want to call them were flying over our military nuclear places, and they were shutting them all down. So it's not like, that technology to them is, if you can control electricity and do that way, I'm pretty sure they're able to give us, like an EMP and just wipe everything out before they're coming in anyway.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you want to, you kind of want to know, they're not just going to come in full force, out of the blue or nowhere. I'm pretty sure they put in some time if they want to do something like that.
Yeah, it's, I think the funny part about it is that, fighting basically like an Earth war. Isn't it, like, you know what I mean? Humans think in terms of like fighting Earth wars, because, well, we're humans. But I'm telling you, I'm nearly certain, like the shit that would go down in that type of scenario, we would have no chance whatsoever, because they would be doing things that we had never even considered, right? And then if you've never considered it, how the hell can you defend against it? So thank goodness it's not going on, but I mean, that's the type of thing that kind of, makes me go, no, no, we're not going to win that one. I'm sorry. I'll fight like hell. You guys want me on your side, because I'll go down swinging, but I just don't have faith that we're going to win that one. So hopefully we don't have to challenge that, right? I think that's probably the best way here, is not really spark an intergalactic war. Let's say that. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Because, again, if you want to do that, like, say that again, before you even send ground forces, because you're talking about a planet against a spaceship. And even though it is a big spaceship, if it ain't planet size, then you got issues. You got, so that's why you would take out probably all the big cities, because there's millions of people in there, all these cities. And most, that's why you hear all these things about people saying that the planet is overpopulated, which it isn't. It's the cities that are overpopulated. That's it. So if you take out all that, there's millions. Almost half the planet probably in just cities alone. And then you just gather them all up, but that would be the ground force. Whoever's left over, you better fight like hell. Because who knows what other technology they got. They probably just send in drones, or, they're gonna heat, X-ray vision, all that shit. I'm pretty sure they got it all. Where else you gonna go to what would be like underground, which is kind of like the old, the ancient people did. Was it because of flooding, or was it because of an attack or something? Because you have places like over in Turkey where I can't remember the name of it right now. By any means right now for some reason. But yeah, they had like it was probably like they dug like 10 stories down, and they had it positioned. And what was interesting was they said it didn't collapse anywhere, and because they had the towers all down for each level. They it could hold a couple thousand people and cattle and all kind of shit. God, I can't remember the name of that right now, but yeah, that's the only way you're gonna probably be defensive, is to go underground. And if you see like most of these Star Wars or whatnot like that, you see these guys, like the rebel bases are mostly, inside of a mountain or underground or something. That'd probably be the safest place, to have bombardment coming in from outer space into your atmosphere, would be underground.
Yeah, like a Cheyenne Mountain, right? Close those big doors that take 12 hours to close, and you're safe. That's exactly like Hoth in particular from Empire Strikes Back. They were kind of in that mountain in the ice, like kind of in the underground defense spot there. So yeah, that makes sense, right? And there are some anomalous things that have underground caverns that they don't know how old they are type stuff. They were clearly dug by people, at least they think people, and so not Bigfoot. But who knows? Like maybe, like you said, maybe something like this has happened before in the past, as has been speculated. I don't know. I don't know those answers, but it is fun to think about, right?
Yeah. Here's a couple things that's interesting. Was that a defense for something like this? I don't know if you ever heard or came across this story, but there's one. It's called the what do they call them again? They call them. It was in Siberia, and they called them the cauldrons of Siberia. And what it was is that these people were saying from the locals that were inside there, and actually there were scientists that went down inside there and actually found, kind of looked like the area where it would be. But they said these cauldrons would come up out of the swamp waters, and they would open up, and they look gold shaped. They kind of drew what they look like. Kind of looks like just like a gold. I don't know, like a top of a bullet or something. It comes up out of the water. It's a cauldron, and they said they took out like incoming asteroids and whatnot. And they said after they would fire the weapons, it would close back up and sink back down into the water. So there had been a couple expeditions that went down into Siberia, and they believed that they found one area because if somebody was getting sick or something, they had to leave the area. Because they had they didn't want to stop their exploration, but they had to because of that reason. Or another one is actually in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. He actually talks about that in the future sometime that there's going to be a what he says another people or he called it beings that would come from the deep space and they would attack the planet. And he says to call upon his spaceship, which he buried underneath the Sphinx. In this, that's what he wrote down in his book. I believe it's in tablet 10 or 11. And he speaks about that. He says, yeah, just call upon my spaceship and defeat him with ease, is what he says. So that'd be an interesting thing to, maybe that's why they kind of close up all the Sphinx. There's nothing in there, nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
Yeah, it could be. And there's, it's been speculated too that the Akashic record, or at least access to it, is buried beneath the Sphinx as well. So I wonder if it's one and the same, right? You can access it through his spaceship. We need to write a fiction series, Kelly. Tie it all in together, man. Good stuff. So I mean, I think that back to the alien invasion stuff. I think that we're screwed, like if it comes to that, we're screwed. But again, right? Like we always say, life finds a way, and that means us too, right? That means us too. And so even though humans have put under some serious duress in the past, and it prevailed. So who knows? Like I don't want to give us like a 99% chance of failure, but even if I do, that still leaves a 1% chance of success. You know what I'm saying? So, I like to believe that at least that you got a puncher's chance, you call it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just paying the speculation of just a full on war with an incoming species from outer space. But if we really think about it, like some people were talking about, a lot of people believe that And there's a lot of some truths about it, that there's an underlying or underground something that's, maybe controlling, the ins and outs of what's going on this planet. And not to saying that, that we have to see, that they need us, that they need to show themselves. Maybe they don't need to, they don't have to show themselves to everybody, just the so-called leaders or whatnot, or the people they put in those places to rule, to get their whatever job that needs done. I mean, that's always, and not always an outer species, like an outer space species. It could be even an interdimensional, something that's not, up the planet. That. So, there's other things you can do that, it's not just always something that's outer space. Like I said, it could be something that's already infiltrated, in the dark, like there's a lot of books that talk about that, and the only thing that really else that, seems to be portrayed throughout the ancients is a lot of these reptilian type species, and then we're talking about statues and drawings and cave drawings and, it's not just one species. I'm pretty sure that it's not something. I don't know if it's a galactic where you have to control the whole planet, but maybe it's just an intergalactic trading system somehow. That's how they keep everything somewhat afloat, or in the direction they need everything to go. We're just not told of it yet.
Yeah. Again, all that like good speculation. I don't know. Like I don't know. You know me. I'm not the guy with those answers, but I do think that kind of considering all the possibilities, it does make you stronger, even if you wiser, smarter, older. Whatever good terms you want to use. I think talking about these things, even if you're the skeptic and you don't believe any of this stuff at all. That's fine by me. I think it's still, there's a place in our mind for reaching into the cosmos, and I think part of this discussion, why we've always done it kind of like we do it, is as part of that. You tickle that part of the brain that maybe does wake up some other parts, or shut down some of the worry, or who knows. I don't know. Maybe hopefully we can hack our brain someday in that capacity by talking about aliens. I don't know. Call me a dreamer. Call me a knucklehead. I have no idea. But somewhere in between, I hope. Somewhere in between. It's all good. It's all good. Let's wrap this up, Kelly. We're about that time, my man.
Oh, yeah, that was about it, man. I just wanted to bring in some of the stuff that, known. If you guys, there's someone else out there hasn't really looked into that, go ahead and check it out. It's called The Cauldrons of Russia or Siberia, but I believe it was in Siberia. And yeah, there's a couple YouTube videos out there, and they talk about the, and it actually comes from the team that did the investigation that went to Siberia, and it's actually pretty interesting too. It's the cauldrons, these things that they say that was, even like the locals. Again, it's like another story that the locals don't know where it came from. It's just that they were there and they seen it come out of the ground and see what it do. Kind of like they think maybe that's what happened with the forest that took down over in Russia. They thought, maybe something exploded and took out a whole forest. Maybe that's, they're thinking maybe that's the weapon that would, help take that out instead of having that asteroid hit that it exploded before and just, caused like a big shockwave that took the trees down or something. But yeah, other than that, man, you guys have a good evening and peace to the family.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for the call. That's Kelly from Colorado, and thanks for your input, my man. God bless you and the family. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Thanks, bro. Have a good night. Have a good night. There you go. That's Kelly. Good stuff. I appreciate all you guys calling. Like I said, it does make for a long show if I'm here talking by myself to myself. Because it feels like it, right? You get some feedback in the chat, but if nobody calls, I'll end up wanting to punch myself in the face by the third hour. And so thank you guys for being part of that. And so I don't know. Like at the end of this, we're gonna go with the outro with Jay. We'll bring Jay in just a sec here, but it doesn't matter what we think, right? It matters what you think. And like I said, this is speculation. We're kind of going out on a limb here, and just really, I don't know, like maybe talking about things that other people don't, and that's part of a good conversation. I think is like we could talk lefty, righty, blue, red politics, but holy God, why waste your time with that, right? It's literally like controlled opposition back and forth, and they give you the talking points. It's like, oh, okay, that seems healthy. Let's argue their talking points for them, right? No, thanks. I'm not interested. All right. Thanks for hanging out. I know it's a long show. Let's go to Jay. Let's do the outro with Jay. What's up, Jay? You're on Troubled Minds, my friend. Thanks for being patient. Welcome to the show. How are you, my man?
No problem, Mike. I'm fantastic. It's a pleasure. Hold on. I'm shutting the other things down so I don't get the feedback. I apologize.
No problem. You're good. You're good.
How do you do this all the time, man? Fantastic show after fantastic show. You get people to call in and talk about, let's enlighten ourselves. I mean, it amazes me. It really does.
I'm lucky to get all these smart people to call in. Honestly, yeah.
You put a lot of work into it. You really did.
Thank you.
And it shows. But why is always the question? That's what I look at. The alien invasion topic today had my mind wandering all the way, and all the people that were calling in and everything else like that. And to Axel, I apologize if I was short with you. I was trying to conserve battery, but you're good. You're good, bro. Absolutely. Well, I mean, I apologize because I was short with him.
You're good.
But
you're good.
It's like, okay, guns are bad. Nobody needs any guns. We all need to go to electric. We don't need electric heat. There's a mandate in the big buildings in our community here in New York now that if you're building a multi-unit housing, they all need to have electric heat and electric stoves. So if I wanted to invade a planet that was based completely on electricity, I just whoop them with an EMP pulse. Yeah, now nobody has electricity. Y'all been playing with your telephones for the last 10 years. None of you know how to start a fire.
Exactly. Exactly. And with one blast, we're suddenly all back to the Stone Age, and the cars aren't working because they're not filling gas stations. Gas stations aren't being filled because the supply chains are broken.
Well, your car's not going to work because it's got all those little chips in it that are going to get fried to the bone.
That's true. Only the old cars.
I got a 1979 pickup truck, man. You know what's electric on that?
Nothing.
The battery and the starter.
Exactly. So you
can push that freaking thing down the road, pop the clutch, and that thing's going. And it's going to. You might lose the bed because it's rusting off of it, but it'll still go.
There you go.
It makes it to the dump when I fill it up with crap. When you go over to somebody's house and you're ripping it apart and stuff like that. Well, I don't bring the truck I drive around every day to throw the crap in. I bring the POS over there and throw it all in the back of that and throw the car seats in the thing and take the kids up to the dump so they can see all the big trucks and everything. This is where all your crap goes,
Yeah, why not?
Throw it in the garbage.
Why not?
Little lessons.
There's going to be some weird stuff if that type of situation happens. Just the EMP, to talk about it in terrestrial terms for a sec, is that if that goes down, those will be the valuable things. The old technology, because it's still going to work. Your old pickup is still going to run. The Teslas are going to be worth
the ones that people go, what are you doing with that POS driving it on the road? And I says, it still goes, and I'm throwing crap in it and taking it to the dump.
Right. Exactly. And think about a Tesla, right? That thing won't it's not even a paperweight anymore. It's just a piece of trash. It's in the way.
It doesn't biodegrade. Did you see that thing about the windmill generator blades, the great big huge ones that they need, 15 trucks to take it to where it's going? There's got to be a guy in the back steering and 3 escorts and 15 state troopers. Those things don't decompose. There's a mountain of them, and I don't know. I don't want to say it wrong. Midwestern, somewhere around the arch, a little bit further west than that. There's a great big huge dump of them there. It's a mountain of them. Texas right now, my dad's an escort driver. He's retired, and that's what he does for fun. He's retired. He drives supersized loads over the highway with his van behind it with all the flashies on it.
Nice.
But anyway, there's a mountain of them. They take them out there and they just throw them in a pile. They're building a mountain of windmill, thousands and thousands of years, those fiberglass and steel rods and everything else like that before they'll decompose. They tried cutting them in half. They got microbes out there, doing all kinds of studies and stuff like that. How do we get rid of all the scrap? Because, an ice storm comes down through Texas and, they bought the cheaper blades because you don't have ice in Texas. And holy shit, now we need 50,000 of them. They're begging for people to just escort, not drive the truck with a thing on it, escort it. They can't get them.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
That
seems like an easy job. You drive a little truck with the lights on it. No special license required.
8 miles an hour down the highway with something that's like 190 feet long.
Nice.
My dad loves it. He loves it. It's great. I'm trying to get him to listen to your show when he's driving down the road.
Nice. So back to the aliens. So what do you think? To end this up, do you think we got a shot? So you said the EMP, you'd take, if you were the aliens and you wanted to actually make an invasion happen, you just drop the EMP pulse, our electrical grids and satellites, everything would just be busted. We'd be screwed back to the Stone Age, and then you just take over. So I guess I'm inferring you think we have no chance against a hostile alien invasion.
Well, you've been broadcasting live the first 2 hours of the show from Alpha Centauri. So, we've got communication with these people.
That's true.
We're talking with Ash on Mars, and actually we're talking to people all over the world here on the show, which is unbelievably cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But if I've got a boat that can make it from there and I'm coming here to have some sort of a peeing match, we're going to lose.
Yeah, for sure. They wouldn't stick their neck out to they basically wouldn't give themselves a chance to lose, because why would you? You wouldn't have to.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have to. You'd have to make incredible blunder after another to actually lose. But whatever, which would make the perfect plot for the next Independence Day. Independence Day 4 coming to a theater near you, starring Jay and Mike, and we're going to be the guys that save the universe.
Tomorrow is the day they're supposed to disclose the UFOs.
It's not.
And Independence is only like 2 weeks away. They're not going to do it. We know they're not going to do it.
No, it's the 25th, I think. The 25th. Hold on, I linked it in the chat. Bailey made the website. Hold on.
Oh, I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah, I think it's 20. I think it's the 25th. Let's see. Hold on. It's in here. I'll share this. If you guys haven't seen this, this is an actual countdown website. Don'tBlameTheAliens.com. There you go. I'm going to bring it up. Don'tBlameTheAliens.com. But Bailey made this as a countdown not too long ago. And
you found it. That's awesome.
Yeah. I linked it in.
I looked everywhere for it.
So there you go. There's the countdown. So 10 days. 1 hour, 55 minutes until UFO disclosure. That's the website. That's the don'tblamethealiens.com. I'm going to link it. Again, Bailey made that monochrome in the chat there. So if you want the actual countdown to when this is supposed to be released, now you know. Now you're in the loop. You're with us. And there it is. There it is.
That's awesome.
Don't blame the aliens. We got the countdown. Well, I'll keep that up. We'll since it's only 10 days away, we'll keep that up and keep referencing the don'tblamethealiens.com. But there's the countdown until UFO disclosure. So there we go. But okay, so you think probably not. We don't have a chance here, right? Like against a hostile alien invader, we're screwed.
Well, I mean, you go back to War of the Worlds, back when they put it on the radio and everything else like that. At the end of the aliens got the flu and went away. We all need to take care of ourselves and do the right political things with the prick or whatever now to do that. Are we protecting ourselves or are we protecting the aliens? You know, your show and, you know, the other people that I've met through watching your show have blown my mind up. You know, it's just, wow, you know. One comment from one person in the chat or, you know, we're thinking about these things and we're talking about these things. And I think that's, if we're going to win something like that, it's not going to be us going out there with our slingshots and our marbles shooting at a UFO.
No,
you know?
hell no. No, hell no.
Because that one thing that was put on the Discord a couple of days ago where there was like that unbelievable entourage of power going out at something that was a miserable failure. Do you remember that?
No, I'm not sure what you're referencing.
A UFO or on UAP or whatever they call them nowadays was flying around and they were, you know, every guy out there with a 50 caliber or a grenade launcher or whatever was throwing it up at the thing and it was just dancing around them like it was nothing. It was just the last couple of days released video.
No, I didn't see it. I'll have to check it out. If you can link it to me, I'd love to see it.
I'll have to go and hunt it down. I thought I saw it on the Discord, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. Okay.
We can't. If you can travel hundreds of thousands or even like Alpha Centauri, how far away is that?
I think it's about
20,000.
No, I think it's
8,000.
I think it's like 4 light years. I think that's what it is, which seems incredible.
So 4 light years. So if we send them a laser saying, "Hey, how you doing?" You're going to get back to me in 4 years.
One way. Yeah, exactly. So it'll be 4 there, 4 back.
So
8 years at the speed of light. At the speed of light. Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
yeah.
So we got to fold it like we did in the cartoon video with the dimensions to be able to do something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, we really have to.
There's no way. It's not happening.
I mean,
Yeah. All right. We're at the end here, bro. So final thought. Let's finish this up, man. And I got some outro music. I hope you brought a quote with you tonight.
I did. I'm prepared.
All right. You did your homework. All right. Sweet. So here we go. Your final thought. I'll hit some outro music and then we'll do your quote. We'll wrap this up.
I got like a minute, right?
Yeah. Go ahead and start. And then I'll start the music as you start talking.
All right. So I've been playing with my kids out here because I'm trying to go back to all the things that are on the notebook. That the kids were outside all the time because I'm an outside kind of guy, and we've been checking out bugs. There's a lot of bugs out right now that, as somebody who taught insect merit badges, camp counselor, I can't identify. So that whole bug thing that Ash was kind of beating around the bush about and everything else like that might be truly possible. And you're talking about something that's tiny, you know? But another thing that I've always tried to teach the kids is that what I saw with what sometimes goes on and everything else like that, it doesn't cost you anything to be nice to people. I was a bartender for years and a bar manager for years, and one of the owners who used to always use that statement, John Fitzgibbons, shout out to a dead guy. But my kids added to it, not a nickel, not a penny, not a diamond, because they called quarters diamonds because they were shiny. And that's so true, that it doesn't cost you anything to be nice to people. Not a nickel, not a diamond, not a penny.
Yes, sir.
If we all come in here and listen to each other and talk, and I might disagree with you, you might disagree with me, we can have a fantastic conversations and maybe enlighten ourselves and send your mind walking down a road that it would have never walked down before.
Amen, brother.
And
amen, brother. You're preaching to the choir over here. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I don't know. I really appreciate it, Mike. I really appreciate the fact that, we're getting people from all over the world that come and talk. And, I've seen things. I've done things, I've built buildings and stuff like that. And it's like, what the hell are you guys building over here? Why? My question is always why.
Always why. Why is a good question to ask. It is a good question to ask. Thank you, Jay, for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for spreading the word, and thanks for being positive about the future of humanity and trying to say, let's be nice to each other. It's a good thing. It's a good sentiment, and I think more people need to hear it. So thank you, my friend. If you're finished, let's finish this up.
Yeah. Join the Discord. Get in there. Read some of the links. I feel like I'm doing a commercial or something.
Spread the word. Hey guys, we're done. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. We're here with Jay, doing the outro with Jay. Again, we'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific. We do Monday and Friday the Troubled Minds news on Twitch at 3 p.m. Pacific. So we're going to keep doing our thing, God willing. We'll be back tomorrow punching. Ash will be here. We'll be talking about some crazy stuff as usual. And thanks again. I know you could be doing a million things right now, and instead, you spent your time with us. So I'm honored, I'm thankful, and I'm hopeful for the future that we can be good to each other. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are an amazing community, and thanks for hanging out with us, Jay. Everybody else, have a fantastic
night, Mike.
We'll see you tomorrow. From our troubled minds to yours, have a great night.